use your throne as my toilet seat. I demand a king's ransom for
Nitemare.
royalty.
Week of
I
Overwatch.
deserve a mansion. I'm
4400.
Hello everyone, welcome to our first Nitemare League lunchtime. Not brought to you by BPL, as you can see.
Hello everybody and welcome to the very first game of the BPL inaugural weekend.
Urban Blacksmith, Blacklisted Mozart.
Such key pickup. 3, 4, 5. That's a 5K per D. 6K per D.
Oh my god, it's a 5K from Proxinator! Legacy are your Season 1 BPL champions.
Completely different. I don't
Oh my goodness.
It's gonna fall low. Laid out by Mr. Z Magnolia is waiting for the blizzard first. Oh my god. That's able to do it. Cat boys no longer, these are cat men.
Are you like Yazan's brother or some shit?
Burns is the Michael Jordan of BPL.
Well, we put in the work, I guess, but I don't know. Would you still say we're a bottom 5 team?
I'm gonna take these hot casters out on a date, so I'm gonna stay.
Flashy, can you catch me? 50 on a pink Porsche, 2 baddies in the backseat, horny, true story. Had to kick 'em out, sorry. My oh my, yeah, I don't care what flavor, at least it be some cheese. Y'all be seeing how this baby want, bitch, you got steep. And these girls use me, so I flick 'em like fleet. I did it with ease, cause you wanna cookies. Alright, I'ma fly to the UK to eat my mind off of fine ladies, boo babe. I'm too polite, girl, may I see the booty? I love my life, my oh my. People say I gotta be different, but I'm just myself. Oh my, I got another honey in my DMs every minute giving me hell. Is it cause I'm fly?
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to week 2 of the BPL Season 3. And this will be the second round of games for B-League, and I am joined by Ippy and Worstcast today. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, very good. I'm looking forward to this week. I think teams are going to have a bit more scrim time. Obviously, last week was a bit sort of rushed between the draw and the actual games. So, you know, more practice teams, bit cleaner. I'm looking forward to see what new stuff they can bring today.
And it'll be interesting to see these two teams after they both won their last 2 games, the last game, what they kind of change up. And also, a big thing is, can they keep up performances? That's always a big thing. Do they drop the spaghetti? Does some spaghetti get dropped? We don't know. We'll see.
Will they hold on to the spaghetti this week? And we see today, first up, we have Nitemare against Redwood Rockets. Both teams with a very strong showing last week, and I'm honestly very excited for this game today. I think it'll be a nice standout performance to start the day off with, and I'm very, very excited. I have friends on both teams, so it'll be really fun to see how this plays out, see which team will take the lead here.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the rosters as well. A note for Nitemare this week. Thomas, I believe, is back in, able to play, but unfortunately, SatB, they are on a road trip to Missouri, or Missouri, perhaps.
It's Missouri, yeah.
Missouri, both of them, right? I've heard great things about that. State? Is it state?
It's a state. It's a state.
Okay. Yeah, state. I know my American geography like the back of my hand. And they're coming up against Redwood Rockets, and this team popped off in their last game. They went up against a team who people thought like was the best, you know, Atomic. They thought, you know, if you were watching the pre-show last week, you know, they were in the A tier or the S tier or whatever the top tier was. But they came out with a swinging, and I think a lot of that was off the back of Rocky Ducky 34. Incredible DPS player with an incredible name. I'm looking forward to see what they pull out this week.
Yeah, and I'm just really excited to see how this goes because Redwood Rockets wasn't exactly on my radar as a top tier team. I didn't think they would be bottom tier, but the Atomic game going into it, I wasn't sure how they would stand up to it, but they really held their own, and I am very excited to see how they do against Nitemare.
Yeah, and if there's anything we can say about BPL Season 3 so far, your Preds, your tier lists, they don't matter. The teams don't care. Nothing matters. A-League was no different, okay? Nothing mattered. If you have any preconceived notions going into games, you're wrong. Stop thinking. Just enjoy the games, okay? That's the main point. And I think here, obviously, that's not entirely true. Do think a little bit, but not too much, because anything can happen on any given day. And I'm actually excited to see how these two teams match up. We've only ever seen every team in the league so far go up against one team, one style, maybe one or two styles. So how can they adapt to different styles? Maybe if they don't know what Redwood Rockets might be pulling out on certain maps, because there's different maps and different modes even, as we have Assault in the pool, which is, I'm sure everyone's happy and loving to see that.
Yeah, I like Assault like watching it like competitively in an organized game. It really shows a team like how well they can coordinate together. You know, you've got to get that coordinated push to win. You can't really rely on like off like picks here and there. So I'm looking forward to see how they perform on it. But although I agree, yeah, when you're playing in ranked, 2CP not what you want to see your first game in.
No, it is the dreaded 2CP week, 1 of 2, and so teams will be playing on 2CP this week. So, like Iffy was mentioning, it does really highlight coordination and how well teams can work together. It does lend itself to draws quite a few times. We have quite a few draws potentially on those maps. I'm curious to see if any teams will draw today and see if we will go to map 3s and potentially even map 4s if required. They will be playing starting off on Dorado and going into Hanamura, which will be the first 2CP match of the day. And Dorado, honestly, one of my favorite maps, so I'm very excited to see what they do with it. But I will hand it off to Ippy and Worstcast, and I will see how this game plays out.
Yeah, thank you, Squall.
Thank you very much, Squall, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm really interested in what Nitemare are going to play. Obviously, with Sat B out there, you know, Diva player, off tank player, they're running the Rain Thomas tank line as you'd expect. But they played a lot of Rush in their previous series, and Dorado not the best Rush map. Maybe you run it third, but you almost certainly don't run it first or second. Redwood Rockets, on the other hand, they seemed very comfortable on the 6-man. Last week. Not the best 6-man map, but you imagine they transitioned that into a dive, which it looks like they're teasing with a Roadhog. Interesting. Maybe an opening pick we can expect, an opening hook.
Yeah, probably just that.
You would hope against the double shield that Nitemare are running, you don't see a pick immediately.
Yeah, and we see that copy pasta that has been getting spammed in that chat as well. A little bit of scrim knowledge. Scrim pasta is coming in here, but we are going to be breaking it off here, starting it all off for week 2. So happy to be here again, starting it out with the first match, and again another Nitemare match here on Dorado, this time against an opponent that also has won their first game. Jumping up here is now Fish on that Winston, trying to get some poke, trying to get some damage, but the rotation a little bit late there from Nitemare. They might get caught off, especially by this Tracer. The Echo does so much damage with those stickies onto the Baptiste, has to run away, has to find the lamp, the anti-nade, keeping Rain honest, keeping them out of the fight so far. Now all the cleave come through. Finally, lamp is forced out. So much spam on this front line, just keeping them all at bay. Again, nice checking there from the Tracer, keeping the Junkrat on the flank, watching out. But Rain, now, not anti-nade, it has the Shatter, already puts it down, and putting in their documentation, really, for why they should probably be considered probably one of the best Reinhardts in B-League so far, as a massive fight win coming out there, and a minute off the clock.
Absolutely. Brutal stagger on the Diva as well. So, Redwood Rockets had a good surround there on Nitemare. You imagine, like, you know, in a different universe, Rocky Ducky gets the kill on Mini there, very low, and then that fight turns out completely different. But it's actually Rain, they call the push, they boost Rain in, he's able to put up the Shatter, slam them all down to the ground, like, huge value.
Yeah,
And now,
this next fight. Yeah.
and Redwood coming in with the nano, and here it is.
There's that nano as Winston going forward, looking for something, but great boot back by that Junkrat. But Wisey though gives the boop and gives his life, burns as well. Wall riding to his death, but trades are coming back. Pumpku finds 2 on the Sombra. Not something we typically see as a carry DPS in the damage department, more so for that utility of the hack, but right now is doing an amazing job. The EMP comes out, finds 3, but Fish is nowhere to be seen really in that backside now, coming back, has the primal, and there's no pressure really on this front line until the Orisa will be copied. A nice tag coming out from Wisey, does find 2 in the back line. It's going to be both supports going down, and this fight turns favorably into Nitemare's side. How can they really come back into this is a question for the ages. Mini though going super low, doesn't get finished off. Once again, a story repeating itself, and a massive bomb here coming out from Tommy. Finds 2, puts them back in spawn in the fight, swinging back and forth so low. Echo hacked out of the air, and that should be it finishing up. But how can this team, how can Redwood Rockets make any progress now without any ult, Tippy?
They can't. Really, like, at this point, like, the spawns aren't in your favor. Sure, you anti-rain there, you get them very low, but that's just old charge for Mini, I think. And that was a very platinum fight. 2 people died to the tire, 2 people died to the Diva Bomb. The EMP from Pumpku was really good. Unfortunately, the follow-up not there. Redwood Rock is able to sustain very well, but just didn't win out the longer fight. You can see engaging onto Mini again, like a really big focus. They've actually swapped over to the rush, and Diva gets the first pick.
Yeah, it's kind of Burns getting caught out once again. The EMP, massive, finds 4. That results in the Tracer's death. Now you've lost that flank, you lost a lot of damage. Wisey putting in so much spam on this Junkrat, looking for that Echo as well. It's a little bit unlucky. Looking for something on this cart. Almost finds the Baptiste. Is going to get run over by this Diva. Will anyone look at Wisey and shoot them? Finally. I'm not going to say that name, but Echo does find it. As now Rain back onto this cart. Going to be taken out, and the cart will be pushed in. And now, finally, after a long time off the clock, admittedly, Redwood Rockets finally push it in. What a tongue twister of a name.
Oh, I've been practicing that name all week, and I'm still probably gonna mess it up. And I think like what you're seeing from this game, just sort of the process of that fight, the whole point actually, is Rocky Ducky is very scared of Wisey's Junkrat, as he perhaps should be. A stray mine, you know, forces the recall, you know, reduces the tracer to 30 health. You have to get out of there. You have to pay respect. And now, Redwood Rockets on the rush tanks. They engage with the tire. Nitemare engage with the tire. Can they find anyone? Nope, they find the
That's
lab.
a lot of damage. I mean, even with the immortality field, yes, you prevent the immediate death, but they all go down to basically 20 HP if you're 200 HP character. Mini, not sure what direction to go, either in the waiting arms of the bomb or the tracer, and they choose the bomb, and doesn't end up well for them, but resetting once again with a shadow on the front line here. I mean, I was gonna say reset, but the spawns are just so in their favor. They finally get back in this fight and clean it up with a shadow from Fish, their first of the match, and now all in Redwood Rockets' favor. Nitemare on the retake.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though you could say Nitemare won the fight there with the defensive ults, they lost people in the process. You know, Fish able to come in with the shatter again. The Ryan actually taken down by Rain. I
mean, but yeah, but the soldier on the backside does take out Rain in the long run. Now this does favor the defense in a sense, as now the EMP coming out to cancel this beat. A massive EMP once again for Burns, deciding he needs to commit his beat as well. You take 1 beat away from the enemy and you gain your own, but now you're just down both for the next fight, and only Bunny's ult remains.
Yeah, a great fight from Nitemare actually. You know, yeah, Funjin uses the beat. Ponku, you know, licks his lips. Ah, that's my time. I'm gonna use the EMP, completely cancel it. A good value, and that kind of resets the ult banks as well. You know, Bunny only coming in with the window. Obviously, a very good ultimate. It's gonna have to command respect. And you're hoping like you can survive long enough that Mini builds their own window in this fight.
And you're looking here at Tommy. Oh, Pumpku, so great. Like, you look at Pumpku and you're like, oh, their hit scan is amazing. They can do so much damage. Sombra, you're like, oh, they got a little bit less effect there, but still, nothing to stop them from getting those kills. And now Wisey's the one taking out that hit scan roll on this high ground. Echo going to be taken out very quickly by this high noon. And now pushing on to this point, 10 seconds to go and not much hope remaining. Is there really any way they can get back into this point? I don't see it.
No, absolutely not. You see Rocky Ducky on the soldier on the legs.
He's tired. Let's try it his best.
Yeah, absolutely. And interesting sort of like rotation there. They rotate through main, leaving Rain kind of alone on the high ground opposite. He charges in from the back, actually knocks down the opposing Ryan, and that I think is able to set up Wisey with the kill with the high noon. Just able, basically, it's just a case of like picking people off, like staggering people so much that you didn't really have time. You know, it was just Rocky Ducky coming back to the point. You didn't have time for another engage, so they actually get stopped here quite short on point B. I mean, this is great for Nitemare. This puts them in an absolutely winnable position, which I think is going to look great because you're down Sat B, you're down your Diva player, but I think Thomas has shown, like, you know, he can step up and he can play the offense if he needs to.
I believe they're also down Ascend as well, because I believe in chat what I heard was it's his brother's birthday. So happy birthday, Ascend's brother. Happy birthday. Feels birthday, man. But won't be attending this, obviously. Has prior engagements with that birthday. But Nitemare seemed to do fine without those two very star players, I might add. Those are very good players. So missing them and still having a good performance, that's quite nice for them. And now looking at this, I don't expect Nitemare's comp to stay the same, but the double shield response here from Redwood Rockets is interesting.
Yeah, the Ryan Winston is quite retro, I should say. It feels very 2016. And I'm interested to see what the Symmetra is going to do in this comp. Who are you TPing and where are you TPing them to? Most of this team has mobility for a translocator. We see Thomas with engage now, soft engage, and he's just boot back and he's looking to get healed up.
I guess this is their response to that double shield, right? Have the Winston, have the cleave damages. The hack comes on the Brigitte and just not quick enough on that shield back to get back to safety. They lose their life. Funny as well, she just doesn't put the immortality field down fast enough. Doesn't save one of the key players here, but you've lost your you've lost your Sombra. You've lost a lot of playmaking potential on this point. Rocky Ducky goes low, potentially could see a response there, but now it's the time to push forward with all this damage, all this spam, and there's something they can do. What looked so good for Nitemare just turned into an absolute nightmare, you would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Great surround there from Nitemare. You know, you kind of do see the opposite play from Redwood Rockets, but they actually pull it off quite well. But I think you can tell who's done the damage on Redwood Rockets. It's Rocky Ducky with this Ash. Huge dynamites coming in, able to pick off Pomku easily on the Symmetra, and that's the one target you don't want to leave alive because she will microwave your entire team. Why is he on the flank here? But the Matrix will go down.
Speaking of microwave, the Ant Matrix comes out there from Bunny, and that results in an instantly dead Reinhardt. Not much they can do about that. Have to just go back to spawn and lick their wounds. And I do wonder, what is the point of the Symmetra here when you're running two pseudo-dive characters and you're not even really using them to take high ground or anything?
So I think the point is to pocket the Sim, make sure she can build a level 3 beam up, and essentially shred the shields. You know, she recharges ammo off the shields. They're going for a flank here. Are they going for a flank TP?
Oh, they hear it. They hear the sounds. There's noises that happen in this game. And the hack, though, comes out on the Rocky Ducky. A nice manual hack to deny that Bob. Something that has so much value in this fight. And yeah, doesn't really turn out when there's 4 other ultimates on the field that can just shut you down. And I guess the point is, hey, this is the anti-double shield comp. Let's run the anti-double shield characters. But that only really works in theory.
And you see Pomku switching off to another shield-breaking character of Junkrat. It's a cute play from Nitemare, very, very cool, but unfortunately the Flux is excellently timed from Tommy. Able to essentially stop that rotation. You got the Torbolt coming in below, you know, you're dropped into the fire essentially.
Now it is EMP time, followed by V. Nice job there from Fungin, timing that rally before the EMP comes out. The Bob to respond, and Rain is dead again. Something I have just been thinking and saying multiple times. First dead, that's the life of the Reinhardt. Your mini so close to that Ant Matrix, you can't find anything. And you expend some ultimates from the Rockets, but you'll take that in response to the EMP being invested.
Yeah, absolutely. A great retreat from Redwood Rockets. Seeing the EMP engage, like you know, you've got a limited time to get those kills before the EMP wears off and the Redwood Rockets have all their powerful abilities back. You see Wisey now swap off the Sombra, you know, if you use the EMP, swapping onto the Hanzo, looking for a pick. Or maybe just for sure, shield burn with the storm arrows. Very evil to take down the shields, but really not two at once.
The Ant Matrix finally out. They're able to push. They have very little ultimates outside of this available. In fact, they're just trying to build up this this Junkrat ultimate, and the Torb found the ultimate of his own, finds Chu, and this is the last fight. This is the last fight of this map, potentially, as everyone goes down. The Torbjorn into the back line. The Flux to follow up. Wisey looking for something, anything, but they can't find it. And something that looks so promising for Nitemare, right? A second point hold. That's something you can definitely work with. Ends up in maybe a little bit too much overthinking about their counter composition, and it leaves them down 0-1 and on their way to Hanamura.
Yeah, and I absolutely want to point out. Mr. Wagler's play on the Torbjorn here. You know, doing a great job all that defense. You know, building the ult very quickly. You can tell they were focusing the turret very hard. The turret always going down early on, but you know, it's still with that ultimate, you know, able to deny a lot of value, and you know, teams following up on that damage.
Yeah, a very strong showing from both teams, honestly. With neither team making it even to point 2. That's when you know it's a really, really close game and very hard fought. And it was a very, very good showing to see from both teams, and interesting to see both comps. Rain on the Reinhardt, absolutely insane. Ducky on Rockets, the DPS, just absolutely nuts. It's an intense game, and I am very, very excited to see what both of them do on Hanamura.
Yeah, absolutely. So you imagine Hanamura, you know, Pomku's been showing the Symmetra already. Hanamura, a great Symmetra map. I would be very surprised if we don't see that from Nitemare this round.
Yeah, we might even see a Symmetra defense, dare I say. They might even do something a little funky with that if they're feeling it. Nitemare seems like one of those kind of funny comp teams. Maybe they'll bring out something a little funny on the defense. I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, they could do, but I'm thinking if you're going to go silly, you're going to go J silly with Pomku on the Junkrat. I think he's had a great defense on first. They're building up tires very quickly, and I think he made the right swaps as well throughout the map. Switching off the Symmetra back onto the Junkrat, I think is if that's what your comfort is, that's really what you should do. So yeah, Redwood Rockets on the other hand, they pulled out the double shield for the first time we've seen this tournament, and they played it very well. They were a very coordinated team, pushing off the right ults. I'm really looking forward to what they bring on Hanamura.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but does Nitemare only have 2 DPS players? They only have Ascend and Pomku, right? Because I don't believe Wisey played Lucio for them last week. Subbed out for Bones. I don't know. I'm not a lore master by any means, so I don't know all the lore. But I'm pretty sure Wisey played main support for them last week, subbed out for Bones, and they don't have that option anymore. They don't have. They have to put him on DPS, and they don't have like Thomas, for example, that could maybe sub in for DPS or anything like that because Satpi is gone. So they are kind of forced into running these players in these roles.
They are down 2 this week, but hopefully Satpi enjoys his road trip, and hopefully Ascend's brother's birthday goes well. Sometimes life things happen, but Nitemare's still putting up a really solid fight there, and they're putting on a really strong showing. Pomku, some really large EMPs, Rain showing up on the Reinhardt, some massive shatters, and Hanamura lends itself to rush. So I am really excited to see these two teams brawl it out again. I am excited, both main tanks going at it, and I am really excited to see this duel as we go into Hanamura for map 2.
Yep, and that's something interesting, Ippy. At least, could this be the first 3-map B-League game? Could we potentially see it? Something different in the standings besides a 2 or a 0?
I'm sure you would see every match having a 2 because that's the point of having matches. Is to get 2.
Like those two things, only those two.
But,
things. Okay.
But So Nitemare have done a great job, flexing their players. YZ on the DPS, Thomas on the up tank. But I think, and we're coming to a pause here. But I think we would need to something. So we're back. I think we need to see something like something going very wrong with the Redwood Rockets. I think they do look like the superior team in this matchup. They were, although they concede, second point. They're still able to defend first really well. That their first defense looked very solid. A lot of times pulling back unwinnable fights. You think the first attack from Nitemare there. They get a wrap around. They're down to hack on the brig. You're down one of your supports, still able to win it. Partly due to Rocky Ducky's great dynamites and great build on the Bob. I think both in an individual talent sort of aspect and the sort of teamwork aspect, I think Redwood Rockets are superior. So I would expect a Redwood Rockets 2-0 here, look from the first map, but I'm not sure. So unfortunately, we've got to pause due to Tommy DCing on Redwood Rockets. Hopefully get him back soon enough and get back into the game.
Squall's muted.
You are muted.
Yeah, Squall's muted. No yapping. No yapping.
I'm dumb.
Don't worry. We'll pretend we heard you.
Pretend you heard me. I said something really fantastic.
And that's that. We go back. I'm just kidding. Okay, back to the vacation for you, Squall. We'll see you in just a moment. Hopefully with that microphone unmuted from the start. But
yes.
We will be coming back into Nitemare here again. Our first look at 2CP this season entirely. This is for both A-League and B-League. So this is our first foray into this game mode. And right now, nothing out of the ordinary. A little bit of a Marissa defense here.
Bane is on the D.Va, so actually swapping roles with Thomas here. Perhaps as a result of that first map, going back to the drawing board, trying something new. But Redwood Rockets on the Sim Rush, a very, very typical comp for this. And they're tipping actually to the high ground, not to the point. How did Nitemare deal with this rotation?
I love seeing that they don't just TP on the point and die. A very classic mistake you see. They just TP on the point and die. Now it's on to Tommy, walking off to the side, trying to get this Ashe out of position. Burns, you gotta be careful, man. You're going to and no one kind of calmed that to Pumpku. No one said, hey, look out, there's a Symmetra behind you. But it doesn't matter. YZ's there on the save. Now it's Rain's job to touch that point with the assistance of that Lamp Mini. Gone now from the fight. Burns put Pumpku back in this back on the field. But Tommy's done a good job of denying their impact so far. Now it's Rain out of that mech, and the YZ jumping to point, getting the last seconds of stall, and a quick 1 minute take here from the Rockets, and already off to a fantastic start. So your prediction of a 2-0 is not looking too shabby, Yippee.
Yeah, and I think definitely this comp tests your ability as a team to react quickly to surprising factors like that. Pumpku actually going over to the Bastion for this double shield defense, but Redwood Rockets already on the point.
Classic. Okay, when the Symmetra TP first came out, when this rework first came out, this is the first thing we saw in Contenders. People did this on this map, and it was absolutely glorious at the time. Rain is taken off, so they don't manage to keep that point contested for very long. 2 ticks already taken over on your first fight on TCP. That's more than fine. Committing this wall, trying to get something else. Pumpku is 55 HP, forced to heal, just pressing that interact key as fast as possible, and it's not enough. Trisky finds the kills, and that's a 5-minute 22-second time bank for Rockets. That's not good. That's not good. That's all I can say about that.
That is rough. It's always rough when you get to the round complete screen and the timer goes up instead of down. Nitemare with a good swap onto the Bastion. You get some picks and forces Rockets to play very carefully. But unfortunately, Tim so close to that photon barrier. Able to build it up in the last fight, deploy it, and you saw Pumpku there, rapidly teleporting between the two high grounds, trying to get an edge. But unfortunately, that 3,000 HP barrier is going to make that very difficult to get any kills. And as well, just the general, point presence Redwood Rockets comp commanded. It's difficult to even go down and contest with the Ryan and Narissa. So, very well played from Red Rockets there. A good attempt from Nitemare, but unfortunately not quite enough. And Nitemare actually starting on the May-Cree rush here, not the Sim. What do you think about this?
To try and not run the Sim into like a double shield comp that you expected perhaps, but I think something interesting. Rockets here coming in not as highly rated. Beat Atomic, very good team. Nitemare also upset expectations, but Redwood Rockets, of course, this is a wounded Nitemare, right? This is them down players, key players, I might add, but still putting on a good show against them. They're saying like we don't hit 113s, man. We only hit 112s as they try to rush onto this point. Pumpkus so dangerously low. I believe maybe a Cheeto hit him in the forehead or something, and he took quite a bit of damage. And Thomas as well going low. Now you have Rain back on that comfort pick of the Reinhardt. Now, how do you get into this point?
Yeah, you can see them crossing the high ground. A little bit of delay here of Thomas. Just gets in, not D-Max. They're building up towards this window. Do they stay and build the window, or do they rush point here? But Redwood Rockets already made the rotation. They're very well set up, and Tim is actually flanking.
Who touches Tim Weak here? Like, who touches Tim Weak? Okay, well, maybe if you walk into them. Okay, walking into them, placing down the hill. Burns! Redemption perhaps for Burns? Mayhaps, but Tim Weak is actually popping off! Hits the flicks and the scans onto the enemy team, but it's not enough. You have a D.Va here, as well as Pumpkin. Tim Weak, though, he's got the healing pad down! You can't kill him! He's just too good! The legs!
The safety guns.
That might just be that might be enough. Burns is on the Lucio. I mean, that was an insane chance of carry plays from both sides. Burns boops 2 off the map, and Tim Weak absolutely lasers some people out of the game, but not enough, and the respawns are too much. Classic 2 CP there. Heroics from Team Weak, not enough, but
yeah,
not as much time.
No, definitely not. But you know, if you cap fast, you could potentially nullify that huge time bank advantage. But what would they cap with? They're building only up to the beat. Not exactly the best engaged tool. They're pressuring Tim Weak off the high ground here, and how'd you get it?
Tim and the pin comes onto the Torbjorn. I don't even know if they could see them on their screen. Into the air goes Pumpkin. Down they go with the lamp, just a little bit off center there. The Shadow will be looking to secure it. You have to clean up the Sarissa on point fast. It's a stalling character right now, and you just don't have enough. Tim Weak trapped in the wall. Please get him out of there. Someone get him out. They finally let him out just to see Fish die. Rain loses their life to the lava onto the field, and now Tim Weak back in that carry position, back on that off angle with that hit scan, with that soldier. We already know what he can do with that, and now time to reset. You get a tick. You were never going to get as good a time as Rockets, but at least try to cap this point with time.
Yeah, and that actually is a good attack from Nitemare. They're able to isolate Tim Weak very early on, get him low. Pumpkin finishes off the kill. That's he was building up to the attack visor there. He comes out of spawn with it, and that sets you up really. Rain charging onto the point. It goes from like what would probably be just an eco push to actual capture progress. And now the old banks are looking more even than they were before.
And now it's time to do what they do best, which is rush them down. The Orisa goes golden, trying to stay alive. Nothing has died so far, but the Orisa cannot be fortified forever. Rain, again, just dead. Not enough support, it would seem, and Burns is to follow. You lost your speed, you lost a lot of AoE healing. Pumpkin cowering in fear from these Sigma orbs and the Cheetos. The Cheetos are flying! The Torbjorn has so much poke, so much presence. And again, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Counting down, Mini forced off this high ground. I mean, it's starting to look desperate here. You don't have much in that alt bank. You're looking for anything to finish with more than a minute. Or more than 0 seconds, really.
Yeah, and I think it was a misuse of the ultimates they had. They used a Blizzard on the high ground. Sure, it gets 2 kills and, you're able to push off that. But unfortunately, you want to use that ultimate to control the point. That's ultimately what you need. So unfortunately, although they used the Blizzard and get a couple of kills, the rest of Redwood Rockets who weren't frozen by the Blizzard able to back off, still control that space and make it difficult for Nitemare to cap.
Right now, it's desperation mode for Nitemare. They just, oh my, I mean, what can you do? How? I mean, the Torbjorn is running into your front line, pressing Q and left click, and finds both your supports with that lava. I mean, how can that even happen, really? I mean, you even have a D.Va. I mean, that's kind of odd, don't you think?
Definitely. I mean, I think it is up to that. Hello. Oh, camouflage mode enabled.
It's the great match.
Not seeing Thomas there. Just
every Nitemare match.
Inside. Maybe they just installed a diva statue and they're just passing by. But Nitemare coming in. They're close to the Blizzard. They've got some big tank ultimates. Can they use them effectively here?
Well, first you're gonna have to live through this flux, and that's something Mini just is not able to do. Not able to stay alive for long when you're losing your Baptiste every single fight very early. I mean, what are you supposed to do? And now you've committed 2 of your biggest ultimates. I mean, you're just kind of capping for anything here. But even that 1 tick going over doesn't matter much. And no stagger coming out, thankfully, for Thomas. But you commit the Blizzard, commit the bomb, and you find just the tick for it. And not much time remaining.
Why is he swaps over to the Junkrat here? Is it worth it? Would you hold on to the Blizzard for the next fight? Sure, Thomas able to stay on the Baby Diva and get the next tick. They actually rush fast. Are they looking to cap quickly?
Now we're looking for some more Miracle Cheetos, but first, the trap must be taken care of. Rain, dead again. First, in this fight, it's either them or Mini. Not much in between, and I try to be positive, Burns. I try to be positive with players, with people. But Burns, there was 2 people alive. You have a minute left, Burns, and no ults in the bank.
These ultimates are not inspiring, I will say. Sure, Rain has the Shatter. He's done great things with the Shatter before. Will they see the sneaky Junkrat statue? Camouflage mode enabled. Stealth 100. As you come in through main again, they're going to read this rotation and someone's going to explode.
Goodbye, Mini. I'm looking for it. No, they get by Wisey instead. It's going to be Wisey. Booped outside. Mini is next on the chopping block here. Punched. I think Timweek thought they would die to that, but they don't. But instead, the flex will be committed. 28 seconds. I mean, your biggest grace here is that you ended the fight quick enough where you have time for a next, and they already used 2 ults. But I mean, we've already seen what he's able to do with the lava.
Yeah, I love these DPS picks from Redwood Rockets. Mr. Waggler on the Torb, Tim on the Junkrat, and the Sim. Doing great work until, of course,
Martyrdom? No! This is not COD from 5 years ago, man. We have to know that when the J Silly dies, bad stuff happens at his feet. I get it, Nitemare. He gets to play the game though. But who really won? But who really won? But who really won?
Absolutely, and it's GG's to Red Rockets there. Despite this great play from Burns. Perhaps prophetic dying to the turret there. But no, I think a great attempt from Nitemare. Obviously playing with 2 players down, a difficult situation. I think they did the best with what they can. But I think Redwood Rockets really showed up. I was expecting a lot more 6-man. They didn't play 6-man at all this series. They barely even played the dive comms. It was mostly the rush, the double shield from them. New looks for Redwood Rockets, and I think their next opponents are now a lot more scared than they would be before. This is a team that can pull out a lot of different looks and do them all very well. So I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, I think that was a great showing from both teams, and especially Redwood Rockets. Their DPS stood out so strongly there. Even Timweek, who I'm not particularly too aware of at times. I have not seen him play a terrible amount of times, but Timweek and just the Mr. Waggler and their defense DPS there, absolutely. They hard held that on the back of their DPS, and they just played that really well. Their coordination was insane, and you could tell that they were very in sync with one another and what they wanted to do, and they made some really good, strong efforts there.
Yeah, we're seeing a team here that defied expectations in that first week, and shows that no, it wasn't really a fluke. We aren't going to be losing to other teams like Nitemare. We are going to continue this dominance, this performance against other teams. Granted, again, this is a caveat. It doesn't take anything away from Rockets, but it does kind of caveat it with Nitemare is wounded. They don't have Sappy. They don't have Ascent. Ascent is an amazing player on DPS, and Sappy is a great playmaking diva as well. No, this is not saying anything from Wisey or anything from Thomas, but you kind of practice those things and you kind of know what those players can do, and when they're gone in a match situation, it can get discombobulated. So, no, like, still amazing for Rockets, but that does have to be said that 2 amazing players were missing from the field.
Yeah, and Nitemare, even with the loss, they still, in my opinion, can be proud of their performance today. Despite being down 2 big players, they still held their own really well. YZ actually holding down the fort on the DPS on numerous occasions on Dorado. And, you know, Thomas and Rain still were a terrifying tank duo to deal with. Rain on that Rhine, Thomas on the Diva at times, and they both still did really, really well. And, you know, it might be a loss, but to show that they did that well, down 2 players, it's still pretty strong for Nitemare, and I'm curious to see how they do next time.
Yeah, absolutely. You expect they bounce back next time. So we got some interviews, I believe, coming in. We have Timothy, Fish, and Fungin. Congratulations on the game. How are you feeling?
Pretty confident. To be honest, myself, I thought this match was gonna be a 2-1. That would go either way. But that's just me.
Not when you put me in. I never lose.
Some great legs play. I gotta say.
Yeah, that legs on point 1 of Nitemare, despite, you know, losing that point, that was still a very strong turnaround.
Timothy Strong decided to pull out the Junkrat and the J Silly, if you will, and just show them who's boss, you know.
Really good Junkrat. All right, I really liked the read on the rotation through main. You know, able to assassinate. I think it was Wisey actually on the opposing Junkrat, the Junkrat diff, if you will. You know, a great pick.
I'm pretty sure I actually missed the Junkrat or something, or the BAP, and then I just like tired to save myself.
He read the rotation wrong, like 5 fights in a row.
I know, I know for last fight, what was like 15 seconds or something like that left. Tim fed a little bit. I think he got but the thing is, Tim got the junk so low, I was just able to web shot him to just finish wisely off, which was like, honestly, Tim, if you didn't feed there,
the end of the fight, I died, and my mines landed on Burns and killed him.
Yeah, we saw that, and it was not pretty. I was looking at that like, what on earth has just happened to cause that? But I will say, like, great play still, you know, despite the kind of wackiness and maybe the feeding and maybe the Junkrat martyrdom mind skills.
Maybe the feeding, maybe some.
Are you playing Junkrat correctly if you don't feed a little bit? Like, honestly?
No. That's true. No. Are you really?
Yeah. I mean, see, it worked out. You got Burns with it.
Yeah, and
it was all part of the plan.
Also, I'm just gonna say, my spidey senses were tingling on Dorado when they decided to do the TP play behind us on point A, on our defense. My spidey senses were tingling, and I just I told the team, like, yo, they're probably gonna try to TP behind us, you know? I saw the TP. I think I knocked the Ryan back or someone, and then it was just you know, you guys saw. What happened,
yeah,
right?
yeah, it was a great flux that held them all in place, really.
Yeah,
and,
we kind of just pressed Q.
Crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I have something for you guys. Coming into the season, and with expectations for your team, like some community expectations for your teams, you guys kind of dismantling them with your win over Atomic, and then now here continuing your momentum into the season. I mean, what does it kind of be like? What do you kind of say to those people that were like putting you in those lower tiers?
I'm just wondering what everyone's thinking, because, you know, we got Trisky, I was on a team with, and we won World Cup, and then we got Tim Week, who I was also on a team with for Insane Joker Posse with British Blastoff, and I have Fish, who I was on a team with before BPL Season 3 started, and I'm just wondering, why are we rated like, you know, like bottom 3? Even worse. I
think it stemmed a lot from, like, people kind of look at the main tanks to judge how good a team is. I think that's a thing a lot of people do, and obviously I'm a new person in the community, so it's hard unless you really know me. You couldn't really rate my skill very well, and kind of like the whole joke of League 0 players hyping every single League 0 player is partially true. So it's hard to, you know, really know who's good and really know who's not. But I think our team. I don't think our team is really overperformed. I honestly think this game we actually didn't play that well. Like, our attack on Dorado was atrocious, but it didn't really matter because we kind of picked it up towards the end of the match. So I really thought we picked it up, and it was a good match.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like the way I see it is that I think we're just like a really good defensive team because sometimes when certain things don't work out for us, there are some times where we let them like we let them take, you know, control of the game. But on defense, we're the ones who, like, you know, hey, this is our game. You came into our point. This is our game here. We're gonna make you deal with the consequences of facing us. That's why I think of it, honestly.
Yeah, your defenses looked really solid, just absolutely rock solid. You guys looked like, you know, you said it was a rough game today, but you really looked like you all were in sync, or at least knew generally what you wanted to do, and it was a very, very solid performance all around from you guys. And I mean, if it's any consolation, you guys were on my top 3 coming into this anyways.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have faith in you guys.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I just also want to give a shout out to Phoenix and Verity and Chicken Nugget God for their matches later on tonight. Verity, good luck against 7-Piece. I seen you in chat earlier. Good luck with that. Phoenix got a game later on too with Goliath. I hope they get a win out of that too. So
I will do my best to help Phoenix.
And everyone on Redwood who was there, which was everyone. Thanks for the dub, because it wasn't for honestly everyone who was there. It would probably be a little more difficult for us to pull the win out, I think.
Yeah, well, a very strong showing from you guys, and congratulations again on your 2nd win. You, of course, are going into next week 2-0, and we'll see how you guys do next week. But thank you very much, and congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. You guys were great.
Have a good one, guys.
Great. You too.
All right, and now we can go into our short break, but next up we have Gerald Fan Club going against Heartbreakers, which another game I'm very excited for, and honestly, I don't think you want to miss it. So stick around and we'll be back.
Hello, and welcome back to Bad Nitemare League Season 3, B League Week 2, Game 2. I think that's all the numbers and everything you need.
That's a lot of numbers.
I'm joined here by Mustard and Seltzer, who will be casting the next game between Gerald Fan Club and Heartbreakers, the green teams. What are you looking for this week?
First win of a season. I think that's what we're looking for today.
True, yeah.
Both of these teams are looking for today. I mean, both got swept last week, and against decent competition. So it'll be interesting to see how they want to kind of bounce back. But I think that it will be a very chaotic matchup, but a very good one.
For sure. Here are the rosters pulling up. You see them on your screen. You got the Gerald Fan Club, but this time around actually has Gerald on the roster going up against Heartbreakers. I'm honestly not super high on either of these teams, just on paper, right? A lot of these names do stand out, right? I know a lot of people have heard of Zool, Gerald, right? Turtle Shell T, I believe, played on Alpine last season. And on Heartbreakers, you got Shadowcaster, late season pickup for Sovereign. You have Lettuce from B League band, McMeme, who made a showing quite recently in the British Brawls and whatnot. So, I almost missed Caden, Gerald Fan Club, the Caden.
The Caden.
Funny Junkrat player Caden. So
these
rosters. Yeah, they look pretty good.
Season 1 champion.
Season 1 champion, exactly. So both these rosters are looking pretty spicy right now. I personally think Gerald's Fan Club do have the upper edge in this matchup. Just looking at the rosters, I don't know. Some of these names don't inspire confidence. Heartbreaker, in my eyes. So hopefully they prove me wrong.
I don't know. I mean, Stratocaster's pretty decent. Lettuce is a good DPS. I think there's definitely players to look out for.
For sure.
At least I'm pretty sure Lettuce is a DPS. Maybe I'm mistaking them for a different player.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's
we're jumping in
again.
fast.
Yeah. I'll leave you guys to it.
Good. So here we go. Moving in. Gerald Fan Club going up against Heartbreakers. You got, pretty standard stuff here. You have the double shield. I think kind of what you see on Havana. Just really in all levels of play. So
well,
nice
I mean, if you're not a coward, you play the composite, like you just play you hold forward with a Reinhardt, but
there it is. They're playing aggressive for it. I'm actually on the Zool main tank. I've heard legend and stories about Zool main tank, so I'm glad I finally see it here in this match.
I mean, yeah, this is a beautiful thing to get to witness today. We do get the quick spawn hold against the double shield
that is
here.
a nice wall. Yeah, it just prevents them from going into that corner, but they do shrink into the spawn room, so good wall from Flabber, just to create some space. Now they have that gas area taken up right in front of Heartbreaker's spawn here. They're going to slowly break out of it. You see the double shield now with the Ryan Sigma. They're going to wall off the Reinhardt here. Bant just going to pin away from the Mei, looking to stay alive, and that will do. As the Immortality Field invested by Gerald from the Gerald Fan Club. Everyone just falling really low on the defense here. No team really budging. Shadowcaster does have the window first. That might be what breaks this hold as window comes back out from Gerald now. It's just back and forth damage. No one really dying just yet. No deaths have been recorded. It is almost 1 minute in the match. High noon now for T. There's a big shatter though. Band coming up huge. The Catboy Zool in the back line with Pika going to be taking out 3 members of Heartbreakers. And the beat from Missy just to make sure no more defensive players are lost, because this spawn hold, you are very far away, and just like that, that's the first fight.
I mean, I don't even get to really talk because they're get to come right back into fight.
Yeah, that's true. Big shatter from Zool actually on this reciprocation here. The nice lamp just to keep whoever gets pinned alive. Dragon Watch with that dragon going to be going right through Flappy, and McMeme coming up big, taking out Zool out of the equation. Heartbreakers might finally be breaking this spawn hold now.
Definitely. I mean, it's always a battle of attrition on Havana here. And to see finally that they can break through, it's a good thing to get this match started. But they've burned basically 2 minutes just to get 20 meters.
Yeah.
Good thing for the Heartbreakers though that they have a decent amount of ultimates compared to Gerald Fan Club. They had to use a lot of their ultimates to try to continue that spawn hold, especially because T was down for a good portion of that. And Ban picked off Missy really quickly. That's a big pick to start off.
Yeah,
but
really
Ban trades for it, so...
The Blizzard, too, from Gerald Fan Club. They're not going to really come up big with it. Zool falls to the high noon. That early pick is going to spell devastation because you can't rotate without that speed boost. Just going to get out-brawled, and you see that happening, unfolding here. As Heartbreakers do take the fight win, and they didn't really have to invest anything for it. Gerald Fan Club, honestly, wasting that Blizzard there.
Absolutely. I mean... The one difficulty with the way that they were playing earlier is that they were playing a really defensive way. They could stall for a very long time, but now that you have to engage with the fight...
every ultimate in the game.
All right.
Fortunately.
Wait. We have the rally? Use it, please.
Very close to being all 6 ultimates. I mean, McMeme did not have his high noon coming into this matchup, or into this fight, I should say. But yeah, that just ended as quickly as it started. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I think when it comes to pants swapping over to the wrist, this is going to be interesting. I think the Reinhardt's just better for this point. You want to not necessarily have to sit in one place. You need to move apart. Having the bridge is helpful, I guess, but there's the rally. I don't necessarily know if that's a good call. We see a rotation in the low ground with the Flame Club, and
just a bunch of damage being pumped out right now. Gerald's the first to fall from Gerald Fan Club. The defense is so low, barely getting healed up by Missy's tickle healing. She has the beat now. She's gonna drop it on only 4 members of the team. The Heartbreakers might have enough members to turn the fight, and despite Kron getting frozen up, McMeme is just gonna be pumping 1, 2, 3 shots right into your heart. Gonna be breaking that defense now. Moving on to the end of second point.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a really great attack round. Since they basically didn't have 2 minutes on the clock, and it's only taken them 2 minutes to get through basically from the start of point A to where they are right now.
Okay, yeah. Early high noon from T there is going to pick off Dragon Watch, who is a little bit caught out of position. I don't really know what was going on with there. But yeah, they're just going to hold this for now. Looks like Heartbreakers are just going to back off, wait for their Hanzo to respawn, who just have dragons now. They're going to combo that with the Gravitic Flux. As you see, the Flux goes up now. The bomb from Pika just to kind of stall things out. Don't let Heartbreakers push in. You have that self-destruct to care for. Zool's getting a little aggressive while just this is Kron, but he's just gonna get frozen up right in their face, right in front of Flying comes Blizzard. But Dragon Watch! He's just gonna drop the dragon. Yeah, watch out for it, because it's going right through your entire team. Gerald Fan Club's 3 people fall to the dragon. And now Heartbreakers is just a cleanup crew. So it doesn't matter that you lose Kron. It doesn't matter that you don't have the ultimates. You're just going to win the fight anyways.
Absolutely. I mean, now it's a big change from Gerald Fan Club to get to this new defensive stand on third. To deal with, just to try to have a good defensive setup on the bridge. Because Heartbreakers have so many ultimates compared to what they would have, even if they stayed on their composition. And it's going to be a big hill to overtake, but McMeme going down early, they might be able to take a more aggressive stance, knowing that they have the 65 numbers advantage.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
really
the spawns
are
so good for Heartbreakers that they actually don't, it's not that much time gained, since the respawns are right there.
Yeah, Gerald fan club now swapping over to the double shield themselves, but they're gonna have the Heartbreakers are gonna have the ultimate advantage on this matchup. Flappy's gonna find Silk though, so that might be able to turn the tides as Bance Bongo is just amping damage for the entirety of the team. As Flappy then picked off. Oh, and that Dragon Strike goes through the back line of Gerald's fan club. They're all falling extremely low. Now the Kron's able to just rain right on to Gerald himself. Just gonna walk all over the fan club now as the cart slowly pushes towards the end. We'll see if anyone's gonna be able to touch here. The Flux might have something to say about it. Zul does use the Fortify, but gets melted before he can even touch the point. High noon from McMeme, just the cherry on top. 1:07 on the clock for Heartbreakers after what was an impressive push after they break that spawn hold.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was like at first it seemed like, oh, Gerald fan club have such a great defensive play that they aren't gonna have to really deal with the rest of the map, but Heartbreakers they overtake that initial hold and then just roll through the rest of the map. They basically felt they lost, I think, maybe one fight in the rest of the map. Enough to lose control of the.
Okay. Yeah, they did only lose one fight in that map, and it was because Dragon Watch got picked early, and they said, "Yeah, we're just gonna back up. We're gonna wait for our Hanzo to come back. It has Dragon Strike, and yeah, that Dragon Strike proved handy, able to kill 3 when they lose their Sigma. So I mean, that's just Heartbreakers, just amazing pace moving forward. I mean, just impressive. But that spawn hold though, that spawn hold was very great from Gerald fan club. Yeah. That cannot be denied here.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that I like the more aggressive composition coming out from Gerald fan club here. I don't think double shield is as good, especially on after the first fight, because that's when you're not going to be having you need to make space, and having the mobile tank is a little bit better no matter what, I think here.
Early ice ball from McMeme though. That might spell disaster if he does get caught out of position, but this is a nice angle for Dragon Watch on the Pharah. Is going to be pumping rockets. 1, 2, 3. T and Missy first to fall, and Gerald will be the next one to follow. Gerald fan club. I mean, again, this is the power of the Pharah on this starting point, and Pika's just.
This is so mean. I think this is might be illegal in some states.
Yeah. I think there's a bill going through the legislature right now. That was just absolutely nasty from Heartbreakers, but there was a fadeaway pick for Gerald fan club, so that does force Heartbreakers to back up a bit here, just to concede a little bit of space. So spawn hold no longer, but that ultimate advantage is just dang.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so difficult to really kind of maintain the spawn hold, because one pick against really any part of your sustain, so any tanks, your Mei, or
going in for the barrage. There it is, right on top. Oh, he gets 4. Dragon Watch again. The value of this Pharah right now for this defense cannot be understated. I mean, no one's looking at Dragon Watch. You have Pika, you have T, but no one's looking at him.
I'm surprised that they don't want to go in a bit further to try to. They have all 6 people. I'm surprised they don't want to hold this closer.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. But see them set up. Gerald fan club is back. They really only have the window to open up this fight, but they will have the high noon from T coming up very soon. As
they have a lot of
it's gonna pop that window. There it is, very early. A very, very nice Flux. And of course the immortality field out, but the high noon from T, able to zone everyone off from Heartbreakers. And I believe Bant just respawned, if I'm not mistaken, actually. So, yeah, Heartbreaker is going to be conceding a lot of space here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give up this space, unfortunately, especially with the amount of ults Gerald fan club have. You're going to have to eat them right now. I mean...
Oh, that is a nice
blizzard coming out, but that's a good blizzard.
Oh no! McMeme! He gets squished by the mech! Pika getting 2 kills here in this fight, gonna even things out, but Gerald fan club, everyone's falling so low. Is Gerald gonna be able to keep anyone alive? He is the first to fall. The res going on the Dragon Watch now. Heartbreakers back up to 5, maybe 6 players. That's just gonna be it.
I mean, doesn't matter if you're a Goomba, if everyone else around you kills Mario. That's really what it comes down to. And this first point is still uncaptured with a minute left and no resources from Gerald Fan Club. And both tankable ultimates and Winder are going to come online for Heartbreakers. This is really brutal.
Yeah.
For any Gerald fans out there.
Yeah, any fan club. The fan club is crying in the club right now as they're just gonna get dismantled by two ultimates. You had the Flux come out, you had the Window come out, and that's just gonna be a team kill. Gerald Fan Club are afforded another fight just from how fast they are all able to die.
Yeah, I mean, and they also generated Shatter mostly and Window completely. So that's actually kind of a positive fight for them.
Yeah, I think that is a fight you take. Yep. This is the Bongo to open things up. Zool and T already getting picks right off the bat. So 4 V6 now, 4 Heartbreakers. The Shatter now from Zool just to really seal the deal here. But Dragon Watch is just pumping out a lot of good damage. Going to be able to get the barrage off, but it doesn't matter. There's a defense matrix in your face. And all those rockets are going to be getting sent straight to the Shadow Realm as Pika going to press right click. And Stall's going to come out from Heartbreakers, but it's probably not going to be enough. They finally pushed the card in overtime.
I mean, that Window was just super critical from Gerald, and you basically like win the fight almost completely off of that. The Shatter's thrown in, and you force some swaps from Heartbreakers. They swap both of their DPS and one of their supports, so you lose a lot of tempo that way. And now they might be able to start rolling through this second point. They have a lot of ultimates to go through, but T dropping low, and they take her out.
Oh, T just barely able to stay alive there. Just impressive stuff from Gerald Fan Club on the peeling there. The nice halts from Ban just to kind of disrupt the flow of Gerald Fan Club, but they do have the ultimate advantage now. Missy going to be engaging with the beat, going to be aggressing forward. They're going to find Kron, they're going to freeze him up, they're going to take him out of the fight, but Gerald is traded out by Shadowcaster. T is going to high noon the Window. No shot. Going to be able to pick up 3, and Zol with the final one on the cleanup for that fight.
Wow. That is the one downside of Window. Everyone does kind of have to sit in line of sight of it.
That is true, but high nooning a Window, insane.
Well, not just high nooning a Window, it's high nooning a Window with double shield. Like,
no. Yeah, what a mad.
Still going down already? Oh no.
Yeah, Silk and Bant are down already. Kron tries to turn things with that blocks, but it's not going to be enough. Meme does pick off Gerald, but it's okay. The fan club will live on without him. Fighting in his honor. They're going to win the fight. They're going to win the point. Net gain there now, 212 to push it in.
I mean, I think so far, the one good thing for Heartbreakers is that they have pretty much guaranteed themselves a better time. Unless they
unless they absolutely plank. Unless they just fall over and don't touch the card at all. You're right. They're gonna have.
I think they actually might have to like somehow double the rate of the card to actually make them finish with more time. Like that's
a lot of damage coming out.
Yeah, this wall is kind of like
window protection. Oh, nice window. Oh, it's gonna pick off Shadowcaster with the fire strike, and the Shatter solo onto Kron is gonna take him out of the battle. As just great coordination from Gerald Fan Club. I think we might have just caster cursed it. This band gonna be swapping onto the ball, looking to get a nice ult stall going on. But man,
I mean, there's no words.
There's no words. But I will have words now. Flappy's gonna go down early, but T again with the 7th man with help, gonna spray some yeah, Cheetos for sure. Right directly gonna be trading that one out, but Gerald's Fan Club do not have the spawn advantage, sorry. Bant rolls off the map. So that is gonna have to be the opportunity for the Fan Club.
Wait, what?
Oh, but Dragon Watch, so that is a really nice zoning Dragon just to push everyone from the Fan Club back. He's gonna get picked by Dragon Watch now too. A nice headshot. Gonna be connecting as Kron just barely able to keep the front line sustaining here. Nice Transcendence from Shadowcaster just to keep him alive. Gerald Fan Club are now backed into a corner. Gotta make a move now. But Gerald's gonna fall early. You lose your fearless leader, you're gonna just collapse right beside him, especially when he is the one healing up the entire team as the entirety of the fan club crumbles with only 10 seconds left. Who's gonna touch?
I don't think anyone really has a good touch here.
I don't think anyone is in a position to touch.
This is the kind of the curse of bridges in this game. Is that they're brutal to cross, and the touch does not come through.
Oh!
Wait. That's so sad.
So, just an almost touch. I believe that was Pika, I think, on the ball. I couldn't quite catch it, but man, that was just that was so close. He was so close to touching. But yeah, sex double kill again. That was that fight we alluded to from the first point. Just impressive stuff. I mean, what a close match. I mean, just based off of what we saw in the first round, it was not looking too hot until the second half for both those rounds. I think we're in for a good match. I think we're in for a really good match.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was getting ready to start accusing Ben of gameplay sabotage and checking the bank account because rolling off the edge like that is inexcusable. Like, it simply is.
If we could get a replay angle on that one, I just want to know what happened. Like, man, what happened there? I mean,
look, I don't care. I don't care how this match ends. Ben's coming in here, and we're getting an answer. We're getting an answer. Simply put.
Yeah. So,
but they clutched it up. And so who am I to judge? Maybe it was to get into their heads. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Heartbreakers had the ultimate advantage in that fight, so they were able to stall it out, right? You had the Dragon Strike cut through the entire front line, so Gerald Fan Club were forced back up, and then you had, you know, Transcendence just to keep everyone in the front line topped up. So even if you don't have any shields, you have a Transcendence, you have a lot of healing. And so, you know, just excellent play from Heartbreakers there, just in the face of, honestly, a very dire mistake that they're able to stay alive. So 1-0 in the series now for Heartbreakers. I mean,
yeah. So we're going to 2CP, everyone's favorite map type. And I think you could tell a little bit. I don't know if it's just Havana, because it's Havana. But both of these teams are not the biggest fans of the first point, and they like the rest of the map.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
now that tends to point towards a draw if we're talking 2CP.
Yeah, it is Volskaya.
You have your telescope out?
I have the telescope out. You know what? I'm down for a draw. Let's see a draw. Let this.
Yeah, map 4. Anyone down for map 4?
It's week 2. You know, we can have a draw as a treat. We could have a draw. It's week 2, right? There hasn't been a draw yet. There's only been two 2-1 matches so far this season. So, you know, now's the chance. Maybe we get a draw.
I mean, where else are you gonna get it but B League, huh?
True. It's, you know, B League. This is just kind of, again, one of our staples here. Some Heartbreakers players are restarting, you know, their games, their computers restarting. So, you know, be a little bit. I have the perfect thing to stall time. Actually, I got my nails painted last night.
Nice.
I know, it's pretty nice. Got the nice pink and the black, and it actually glows in the dark. I don't know if it actually works, but it's there.
Yeah,
middle finger's black, so I could like flip you off.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can
we get minus $1,000? Come on.
Sorry, sorry, I gotta kick you out. I got a new casting partner. I'm sorry, man.
All right. Well, bye-bye, everyone.
Yeah, it's my show now. Anyways, you know, Gerald Fan Club though, it looked close. This map, last map looked really close. So I want to see what they change for
unless you're talking about first point. We don't talk about first point. Either of these. No one wants to talk about both unless it's their defense. They like their defense.
They like their
the defense was good.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe they're just the first point team. Both of them.
I mean,
first point team.
No. You see, what it is that they really wanted just to say, well, who needs to defend the rest of the point if you just win first every time? So they're great on first, and then they get rolled the rest of the map.
True.
And then
I mean,
so the rest. So They just get completely planked on attack, and then they fall over for the rest.
On the topic of fall over, I'm about to fall over crying because I had to cast Volskaya Industries. So that'll be our next map in this map set again. It is 1st to 2, so Heartbreakers are at match point. So
hey,
honestly,
be thankful it's not Paris.
Thankful.
We would just say okay.
I would love to cast some Paris right now. Honestly speaking, I think that'd be great. I would love to see some Paris. No, or were there any substitutions? Yes, Seaman in for Heartbreakers, I believe. It's
Lettuce is in
bands.
for Heartbreakers.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, can we
pause already? Okay. All right, so I guess we could talk about the changes, substitutions a little bit.
Well, we don't have the names in front of us anymore.
Hey, production, want to pipe in with the substitutions really quick? Solomon says too many to remember.
I'm gonna take a look at the chat of names.
Caden is in.
Caden is in.
Caden is in.
Caden in for T. We had.
No, Caden and T are both in right now.
Oh no! Oh, so.
We're getting it. We are getting it from production for this. So let's hold off for a little bit. However, again, a lot of substitutions coming in for these teams. I mean, again, you gotta play everyone on your roster. This is BPL, just kind of what we do. Honestly, I want to see Gerald Fan Club kind of lean towards that double shield here, especially on Volskaya defense. Because again, it is Volskaya defense, so Gerald Fan Club changes. Flappy went from DPS to main support. Missy main support to flex support. Hayden is now in. Gerald is out. So that is the substitutions for Gerald Fan Club. And for Heartbreakers, you have a Lettuce coming in for, I believe it was McMeme.
Yes,
C-Man coming in for Bants. Yes. C-Man coming in for Bants as well.
That's also true.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting. I mean, we do lose the Gerald and Gerald's fan club, so
you know the fan club. There. You know the fan club. They stay motivated because he's not on. You know, they get distracted if he's actually on the team. You know, if he's sitting on the sidelines, they can focus. You know, do it. You know, the classic "do it for him" picture. Sure. You see Heartbreakers try to do the cross there. They're very scrappy though, very messy. So Silk forced to invest that immortality field early just to keep herself alive. So now Heartbreakers do take the high ground, and they do lose Missy Stratocaster. What a nice move. Missy is out of commission now. 5v6. Gerald Fan Club still have Flappy up, so still a lot of healing from that Baptiste coming in, a lot of cleave damage. Kaden able to pick off Silk, so they are going to equalize. Dragon Watch going down next. Kaden finding these kills on the Cowboy. Pika with a nice rock kill on to C-Man. That should just be the end of the attack for Heartbreakers, but I mean, it was almost a really clean attack from Heartbreaker. Just almost.
Well, it was really chaotic because they started to look like they were rotating towards their right side, like up through where the Mega is, and then they started to go on the side that Fan Club was on, because like through Lettuce's lead because they wanted to get a hack off, I presume. And so now they're doing the same thing, but unfortunately, it's just now they know that it's coming, so they can rotate ahead of time.
Yeah, Lettuce gets spotted early, going to be forced to use that immortality. Use the translocator. Both windows out now for these teams, but now Gerald Fan Club might be able to. There's a lot better. C-Man with a huge shatter. Gonna be taking out Zool, but he gets traded out. No main tanks on either side. Kron is extremely low for Heartbreakers. They're not gonna be able to keep him in that mech for much longer, and the Molten Core all over the ground. As Kaden with the High Noon gonna be taking out Silk. Pika as well coming up big, able to take that Diva out of the fight. Kaden does get traded out. Dragon Watch able to get that kill. It is fairly back and forth, but with Shadowcaster going down, I think Gerald Fan Club's got this one in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, now they have both their tank ultimates and trance, so they actually have a decent shot at surviving this EMP fight that's coming up, and like the beginning and end of the fight, like when the EMP's not there, unless they engage with it. But they have to know that the Missy has trance at this point, right? They have to have some type of wolf tracking there.
Hopefully they know Missy Transcendence is up, and hopefully she'll be able to pop it before Lettuce can pop that EMP. He has revealed himself now, so they're gonna know that that's coming. Kaden
And they lose Dragon Watch. They can't EMP
Go for the EMP.
No!
No!
Get anyways with the EMP!
Oh. No. Missy unable to get the Transcendence out on time. Zul does fall to that self-destruct, and with Pika getting hacked up, that's going to force the Transcendence out from Missy just to keep the front line alive. Shadowcaster with the beat to reciprocate, so no one is going to fall from Heartbreaker. Rest of Gerald fan club going to be going down, and just I'm tempted to say that was a ping difference.
That's the only way it could be. Like, that was bad. That was just bad. Bad from not a good time to engage.
Oh,
What? No!
The turret's still up. The turret's still up. It kills 2. It kills 2, so it equalizes. It equalizes. The bongo now from Zul as he has just respawned. She's going to be running back to point as fast as possible. Yep, turret is once again back out the multi-core. Now going to be dropping it onto point. Oh, and Kron's going to walk right into it. Lettuce extremely low. Going to be forced to translocate out of the battle. Kron's going to get staggered out now as a very late dragon from Dragon Watch. Probably that in spawn. Kron.
I think that was from someone. I am mad at this team. I'm mad at both of these teams, in fact. There's no way that T first walks off the map, and then Heartbreakers will lose the fight. There is no way. I'm mad.
That is just crazy.
Kron, the suicide, that makes sense. That's logical. You need to get your mech back.
But that's going to really slow down Heartbreakers. Nah, it's really going to slow them down, though.
Extremely slow down. You do have 2 ticks. Granted, I will side my rage for a little bit.
Lettuce has the EMP. Oh, he's in your back line.
This EMP you just should win the fight right here. Unless,
they have to
Missy.
No, he missed! Oh, but the tanks caught mid-rotation, however, so they're both going to get hacked. They're both going to fall immediately. Kaden caught in the middle of nowhere. Going to get taken out. Missy on the break now. Just going to be trying her best to stay alive, but it's not much for long. No one else is going to be able to touch. So Heartbreakers still able to cap the point. 2 minutes and 7 seconds on the clock, but that was not confidence-inspiring at all.
Is it, like, I know we could draw the map and that technically counts, but is there a way to, like, just scrap Volskaya and give both teams a loss? And just say, okay, they're at -1 and 0? I'm mad.
1 and 0. Yeah, that I would gladly take that if that's an option. Because
like, I don't boy. That's my opinion. Just like, okay.
That just hurt. That just hurt to watch.
We're okay. Heartbreakers defense. They are also doing the double shield, presumably also going to the high ground, but they have the Sombra, which I think it'll be an interesting way to play on first. Usually you see the Sombra on defense, but I think it's definitely possible to play with Sombra on attack. Currently, it's a dive composition from Gerald Fan Club. I do not like the dive comp, if that's what they're going to lock in. Obviously, Tia's not even selected a hero, and they obviously can swap. They still have 10 seconds to do so.
Indeed.
But against double shield, you do not want to be playing dive.
Yeah, dive into double shield is definitely not what I would play. I do agree with you there.
And they're running out with dive. Okay, should I just get out of here and not talk again? This is just a bad. I mean, ideally you have Caden scout and then you swap, which is what they should be doing. But they're rotating around because they want to play it out, I guess.
For sure. And yeah, they're just gonna be rotating out to the side, maybe looking for a nice dive. Pika does get hacked up, so a lot of ult charge gained for the DPS players. Lettuce and Dragon Watch both very high on ultimates, despite not much happening. They're just waiting for cooldowns right now. They'll be getting support ult charge action. So helping Missy farm up to that nano boost right now. I think Heartbreakers have caught on, so they have stopped shooting.
You can actually see that they're not even attacking.
Yeah, they have stopped shooting. They have caught on. They're going to be looking to stage for a dive now. Let's see what happens here. Zul walking up. T with a nice pick, though, on the Shadowcaster. Getting a trade out. The trade is big, but I mean, you're down to Brigida. When you get dived like that, it's just going to be devastating.
Well, there's a Brigida trade, and now you're just down. You're just down.
Oh yeah.
DPS,
Now you're
and
just
now you're down both DPSs.
Yeah.
And you're sad.
Yep, they're going to be looking to stop that tick from being gained now as the entirety of Heartbreakers jumps onto the Zool. Left alone, looking to charge up a little bit of that ultimate. It's not going to be much charge. They sent back to spawn, and I just hope that Gerald Fan Club changes their comp here. Cannot run dive.
They're running
Regardless
dive.
of your ult, regardless of how much ults you have, you really cannot keep running this into that double shield.
No, I mean you have to then say, okay, T, get 2 picks, and Caden grind up Pulse Bomb and Pulse Lettuce. And once that happens, we can dive the rest of the team. That's not tenable for an actual fight win. You can't do that. The Nano is about all you have here, and that Nano is not going to help you get into the main heart of Heartbreakers composition. With this double
Yeah,
shield.
and there's a nice
There it
dive.
goes, and get
Very
booped.
nice
So-
boot from Shadowcaster just to make sure Zool can't get any value from diving into the team now, and just the EMP on top from
and,
Lettuce
yes,
with that Dragon Strike on the point. Yep, Gerald Fan Club just gonna completely fall over. It's a team kill gongs. Sound them. They've rang. And honestly, again, you can't keep running this dive. It's just not gonna work.
Please, swap. Like, no, they're running. Oh. Is this what? You know, no, they're going to. What? No!
Not again! No way! C-Man gonna be going off the edge. This has to be the opening for Gerald Fan Club. Now, I mean, I think there might have been something involved with Duel's Primal, perhaps, who takes an out for Gerald Fan Club. They're gonna be fluxing out of the Mega Room. They're gonna be able to get the mech of Pika, but T gonna be taking on out for it. Dragon Watch going aggressive now, gonna be looking to take out Zool. They're gonna be equalized now, missing 1 HP, just barely able to stay alive as Pika out of mech does take out 2, but D-Man is back on the Orisa, on the Battle Cattle, the horse. Looking strong on the point.
You have 20 seconds, and somebody can touch, and that has to be you. Like,
yeah, Caden is playing for touch here. But the rest of Gerald Fan Club are here. The rest of Gerald Fan Club are here. They're here.
Doesn't matter. I mean, they're not ready to go yet. They're here, but they're not ready to go.
Yeah, they have the rally now. Yeah, Zool's going to be going into the backline. A nice EMP is going to be denying a lot of value, though. Oh, but the bomb! It's perfectly placed into the back. Lettuce does get taken out. Flappy. No one touched! Oh. No. Oh, Gerald Fan Club. Oh, man. Who is the spectator we're watching? What is your crosshair? And why? I'm sorry. Anyways, just... man.
I think that's a good circle back to last week. Heartbreakers ended the last game on a heartbreak, and they end this game on a heartbreak. But unfortunately, it's not a heartbreak for them; it's a heartbreak for Gerald Fan Club.
They finally live up to their name as the Heartbreakers.
They're breaking the hearts.
They're finally breaking hearts. They've lived up to their name, and they've lived up to their first win. Ippy's back. Hello.
I'm back. I think that was like a really interesting match from Gerald Fan Club. Sure, it's another 2-0, right? But you showed a bit more potential on the rush. You showed a bit of dive. It didn't look that great, but you know you were able to get a bit there. And even though it is another 2-0, it looked at least a lot better versus their game versus Goliath. But still, congratulations to Heartbreakers. A very good double shield, I think. What do you think of the double shield?
Double shields.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the way that you want to put it. Like, they were not terrible on Volskaya A, Volskaya B. We don't talk about. And they like the way that they wanted to use it on parts of B and C of not Hanamura, Havana. I think they were fine. Just the problem was how Heartbreakers was playing around it. Like, they just had so much tempo that it didn't quite matter. Yeah, I mean, it's not all doom and gloom from that point of view, but my viewpoint's just been scarred by the Volskaya game we just watched.
There were a lot of silly moments in Volskaya.
Yeah, that Volskaya match did not inspire confidence at all. You had just weird positioning. You had like just Gerald fan club just honestly running a very bad comp into that double shield. Lettuce, man, how do you miss the EMP, bro? I'm gonna say it straight. Second point attack, you missed.
It's called. So you see what it is. I know what it is. I actually know what it is. So Lettuce used Translocator. It fell below the high ground, and then translocated and pressed Q as they were falling directly into the bridge. So basically, the whole EMP got caught underneath the bridge and just stopped there. So the LOS was broken, and nobody got EMP'd but the tanks who were kind of peeking over.
Just that just hurt to watch, and a lot of falling off the map this game. A lot of accidental deaths, both sides actually.
I think if you like, I'm pretty sure that the environment might have been the top killer in the whole match. It could have been.
We got some Heartbreakers players ready to come in. We got Kron.
Is it Bant? I still need to know how Bant died in the
team
map one.
Can y'all like get Bant in here?
Right?
We need to question him.
We have some questions.
Very
for
serious
Bant.
questions.
Okay,
Very serious.
we
got
have
Bant in
two
here.
main-
Okay. All right, Bant.
What's up? Wait, what?
All right.
Can't reveal sins.
Hi, everybody.
You're on the stream now. All right. So we must ask. On Havana, when you were playing ball on the defense,
I don't
how
know.
did you fall off the map?
You know,
On
I
third
hit the speed of light. I hit the speed of light, and you know, like 88 gigawatts or whatever, and then I was gone. Poof. You know.
enough. All right.
It's unlucky. You know, like I knew Kuchi had it, like the tactical feed planned, and at that point, you know, I had to kind of run interference and do it first, so they wouldn't expect the throw. And then, you know, Kuchi did it on first point Volskaya. I was back there late fight to clean up, and you know, it's all tactical.
All tactical.
We do a bit of
Last
trolling.
night when we're scripting, we realized we're down in all economy in the last fight. So someone's got to kill themselves. and
They
come
can't
back
get all
and-
charge if we're dead.
That's exactly
you know?
what worked out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Same long game.
Got me there. I mean, still good showing today though. Just a nice bounce back after last week's match against Nitemare, who, I mean, you know, Nitemare not exactly suffering a good fate today. So nice bounce back from last week. You know, how are you guys feeling as a team?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
Very confident, I would say.
I definitely think we're doing pretty good. As you see, we have the big man Dragon Watch, who's kind of just a god gamer.
So sick.
We didn't even know like who he was. We're just like, yeah, this guy, we'll pick him up. But now he's just turned into like the best B League DPS, man. He's mental so good. He's such a nice guy, and he's fucking cracked out the wazoo. And
for sure.
honestly, having two main tanks that fall off the map in different maps, that helps us too, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got
Keep your players clean.
connection.
Keep them very clean. You know, in the cold waters of Volskaya.
I couldn't let Ben one
sure.
up me there.
Yeah, taking a nice bath. Does get a little hot up there in the heat of battle.
I was gonna say Cuba's got nice
bath.
beaches. What can I say?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, and you know, Bant had to go for a swim in that beach.
I mean, I swam for many years, so you know, it's my natural habitats where I feel most comfortable. So I just, you know, had to return.
I
might not know how to swim.
So Shadowcaster, just generally speaking, you know, going into the season, people didn't really rate your team that high. So, you know, just as a final go-away message, what do you have to say coming off this match?
You know, we're already better than Super Bowl.
Is that
already
something
better
right?
than Super Bowl? That is factual. You've now officially won more maps than Super Bowl. So
I think
and won a game. I mean,
and a game, and straight up won a game. Yeah, I mean, so true. That's all I have to say. Anyways, Heartbreakers, congrats on the win. Thank you guys for coming on today. So,
thank you.
Good
Thank
luck
you. Thank you.
next
Thanks for
week.
having us.
Ippy, I mean, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, a great showing. I think a great bounce back for Heartbreakers, right? And we're going to move on to a next game just after this short break. We got Goliath versus Hayden Overwatch team, which you are not going to want to miss. Don't go anywhere.
Yo, and we're back, everyone. We still got 2 more B-League games to go here. Up next is going to be Goliath versus Hayden Overwatch team. 2 teams who have had a, I would say, polar opposite start to the season. I'm Jimmy, I'm going to be your host here, and joining me are Megalas and Heartbreakers' own Stratocaster. How you guys doing?
I'm doing fine. I know Shadow's probably hype after a nice little victory, but, you know, we're here to hopefully see some gameplay that is a little bit better than what we just saw. I think that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, and as you guys said, I'm feeling pretty good right now. I mean, I just came off of a nice 2-0, but let's hope this game isn't a 2-0, because that would go too fast. I think both of these teams have a lot of really fun players to watch, and, you know, maybe a 2-1 in B-League would be nice at some point.
Yeah, I think this definitely has some potential to go to 3 maps here. Like I said, we have 2 teams here that had like very different starts to their season. We had Goliath, we had Hayden Overwatch team who were kind of pretty high on people's radars going into the season, and then they lost pretty in a pretty clear fashion to 7-piece in their opening match. And on the other side, we have Goliath, who, if I'm correct, had like the speedrun last week for fastest match. They won against Gerald fan club in, I think, a little bit over 19 minutes. So will be interesting to see if maybe they can keep this trend going of being just the speedrun team of BPL. But if I look at their opposition, I think this will not be the case. I think this will actually be a really close match. Megalastrato, who do you think is your favorite here?
I mean, me personally, despite them, you know, not getting that win last week, I'm gonna go with Hayden Overwatch team just because while Goliath did speedrun their opponent, as you said last time, their opponent was the Gerald fan club, and unfortunately, I think they still have some stuff to sort out amongst their team. So maybe not the strongest of showing, but at the same time, Goliath still could have stuff to prove. They could show what they're made of, but until I see it, I'm gonna go with what I know on paper, and that is always the Robbie diff.
For me, I'm on the opposite side. I'm going Goliath all the way. They got the Spooky Squall tank line, and I think that building off of that with all their other players, like they got Optical, they got Chim, and they even got like the newcomer Stonewall, who I think is pretty good. So I think that Goliath, they did it last week. They're gonna do it here again. They're gonna come away with a nice victory.
Yeah, definitely made an impact last match. And Hayden Overwatch team, you know, they had a week to kind of analyze their first game, and I kind of trust in a team run by Hayden to run it back here. And as you said, Megalas, the Robbie diff sure can happen again. Robbie definitely one of the top main tanks here in B League. So I don't expect this team to go winless this season at all. I think they're actually gonna get a couple wins. So maybe this will be their first chance here at getting one. As I see on maps here, we're gonna get Havana and 2CP. We've already seen a bunch of 2CP tonight. So let's hope it will be as interesting as those first 2 games we had into our first map here. So I'm gonna give it away to you guys.
Awesome. And I mean, you know, it's not too bad in the winless section. If you go winless in B League, you get to join like the Hall of Fame teams, you know, Brazil Uprising, Super Bald, you know, some real elite level teams that you get to be stored alongside with in the halls of history. But, you know, there's no halls on Point A, Havana. That's going to be my segue. We're going to roll with it. And, you know, these compositions I think are going to be interesting. I think both teams are expecting a spawn hold as well as going for a spawn hold. And pretty much just kind of how Havana's been playing lately. It's just, you go for the spawn hold with the Reinhardt, see if you can burn 2 minutes off the clock, see if you can't, and from there, make it work, right, Strata?
Oh, absolutely. I love seeing close holds on Havana. As this one comes out, Optical, it's gonna be on the sim here. And yeah, they're just going right into it here. Both teams just meeting right around this gas station. And Spooky gets chunked down by Mr. Beastburger. That lamp just too late to save him. Now, Hayden Overwatch team, they're going aggro here. They're gonna be able to push right through Goliath, and that's gonna be a very fast first fight win.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, Goliath can kind of write that one off, right? Whenever you're going for those spawn holds, even if they don't work, you're still okay with it because you're at least burning some percentage of time, and, you know, you have plenty of time to come back, get a second fight, especially if you fight it really quickly. You can even get 3 points on Havana, Point A. It's the only way to really do it. But Robbie diff, we talked about it before the game, 87% of that Earth Shatter already. One more Fire Strike, it's going to be online.
Yep, and now around this corner, fight's gonna break out. Wall is perfect from the side of Hayden Overwatch team as Tanakby using it to his first advantage. Spooky does go down as well as the lamp, and you know, it's gonna be up to Optical here to change it. He gets a headshot on the Greenie, but Robbie finds Optical in the back line, and Hayden Overwatch team, they're just gonna be allowed to push up here. All the space gonna be taken, and Cart's gonna keep moving. Phoenix meleeed, a nice shot here from Chim, but you know, Hayden Overwatch team still has this positional advantage, and right now, Hayden trying to break it with this lamp, or with the wall, but Mr. Beastburger drops the bomb, doesn't find anything, and the Squall lamp will go down. Edenhall, down by the Robster. Blizzard beat everything coming out here, but Hayden Overwatch team still holding on, and even with Optical getting these kills, I think maybe. Oh, never mind. I lied. Phoenix is going to be able to clean up here. He gets 2 kills and then the mech. And Hayden OW team going to have to back up here.
Yes, indeed. And that's kind of the fight you needed for the side of Goliath in order to just reset, get ultimates out. But you didn't get every ultimate you wanted out, right? You're still going to have to worry about this May Blizzard coming in, as well as the Deadeye from the Cowboy. I mean, that's just going to create so much space if you don't know how to play around it or hide properly. I feel as though it's going to come again down to this Rhine battle between Robbie and Spooky, if who can block the shatter and who can get value.
Yep, High Noon comes out wall up to block it, and oh my lord, that is massive as the High Noon catches onto 2, perfectly set up there. And now Hayden OW team going to be pushing forward. Bomb from Phoenix does find Tanic B. Let's hope that's not how this fight is going to swing around, and it does not look like it, as Hayden OW team, they're going to win another fight, and I think that's going to be about it for this first point here.
Yes, indeed. Probably going to be the end of point A here, simply because there's no space left to give for Goliath. But I stand corrected. They rush out with the 3 members they have.
Yeah, they took a 3v6 here, and Optical Crash immediately goes down. I spin onto Robbie, but Lamp's still up, and that was very odd, as now Goliath members falling. Usually you don't want to take the 3v6 in Overwatch, but I don't know. Goliath probably tried to get something done. Unfortunately, it did not work out either.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those hero plays that you're going to have to end up regretting. And looking forward now, it's all about kind of how much space can Hayden Overwatch team take. You know, considering the respawns that Goliath's going to have, spawning way back halfway through point C. And we're seeing Robbie just kind of get back to the team, make sure you stay grouped up. That's the whole thing with these rush competitions, right? If you're not grouped up, you're just doing it wrong fundamentally. Now the window's coming out to start this next fight.
Yeah, window comes out from Hayden, but Goliath, they just want to push past this wall, going to segment them off. But High Noon finds Squall. I don't know if that wall just went down, but oh, this is a big Blossom, eaten mostly up by Mr. Beastburger. And Hayden Overwatch team, they're going to win yet another fight as, you know, Goliath, they kind of just fell over here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's just kind of how these fights in this rush comp go. Either you're the one rolling over or you're the one getting rolled over. But I would like to say Goliath made some really good plays in that fight. They were able to rush past the window early, get some value, and now they're looking for a good Rhine wall to follow up on this Blizzard maybe.
Yeah, Blizzard was blocked by wall, but it does end up being able to free Spooky as Robbie. This is a Robbie diff. He's just allowed to swing away right here. 3 on card still. I don't know. Oh my god. 4-man shatter. Who is this man? How is Robbie so good at this game? Tanic B gonna get caught out here, but card is almost touched here. Will be contested with 0.7 meters left, and you know it can go either way here. As Hayden finds skill in the optical, and the window comes out from Squall. Bomb does come out, but Robbie gets another kill on the Spooky. Right now, I'm feeling those 3 letters, MT and D, as Greeny's able to clutch up, and Edenhall, I may have gotten his beat canceled there. I don't know. And Hayden Overwatch team will get point 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, the beat probably canceled out there, just didn't get the value you wanted from it, and now we're seeing Optical go over to the Widowmaker just to try to maybe get some range on this comp, but the issue is if people keep playing around Robbie's shield as they have been, then there's just not going to be a pick to find, as well as I feel as though Hayden's Overwatch team, they're kind of prepped for this Widowmaker, at least through just kind of the eye test. I feel like they know to hide, know not to peek it, because there's nobody who can really deal with it outside of the D.Va just jumping on in. So it'll be very, very interesting to see as they speed Deadeye the corner.
Yeah, wall comes out again. They love using that wall to block it off, but again, that finds Squall again. That's the second time, but a nice shatter here. Finds 2 from Spooky, but he gets 2 aggro. He goes down as well as the mech of Phoenix here. Blizzard comes out, that's going to catch on to a lot of people, but I don't know if they have the utility and the people alive to capitalize off of it. They will find Robbie, but Jim's going to die, and again, I'm very confused about what fights Goliath chooses to think are winnable.
Yeah, I feel as though it's kind of like they're almost in like a ranked ladder type of mindset where it just kind of slam the button over and over again until something works, not really attempting proper resets. It's costing them dearly as there's so much time here in the last point of Havana.
Yep, Spooky going down again. He's dying so much in these fights as Phoenix tries to get a squish, but Hayden will get the kill before that comes down. Optical with a nice shot onto Tanic B, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Cart being contested here. It's not getting any progress as Robbie. He just wants to push the high ground, but not going to be able to find a pin. Looking for a shatter here. Ball, contesting point from Spooky, but he's getting chunked down and he will die again. Mr. Beastburger finds him and the shatter comes out, finds 2 from Robbie. Feed as well here. And Hayden Overwatch team, they're being pretty oppressive here. Phoenix is trying to stall Card as this baby diva, but it's not going to be enough. The window's out here. High Noon finds Eden Hall and Melee. Spooky dies for a 3rd time in the same fight. And Hayden Overwatch team, after they clean up Chim here, they will be able to cap Havana.
Yes, indeed, and they cap it with 42 seconds in the bank, and Havana is not a map that historically gets capped all that often, so the fact that you're even capping it all as well as with a little bit of time in the bank is always nice. Of course, time doesn't matter all too much on Escort, but now Goliath, they have, you know, a whole obstacle set in front of them of they have to complete the map just to even attempt to win the map at this point. And obviously easier said than done, but I feel like the key to victory here is maybe get more healing onto Spooky. I don't know if Spooky's playing too aggro or potentially if the team is not playing with Spooky enough, but one of those 2 things needs to change because right now, you said it earlier in the match, just this is an MTD of the finest caliber from Robbie right now.
Yeah, Mr. Roberto, I don't know what to call him, but I'm holding him in the highest regard right now. His team knows exactly how to play with him, which, you know, Goliath can't even say. As Spooky, he's died first, and he's died a lot. And it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, there's unfortunately not a lot you can do, so you kind of have to look to the rest of the team, or you have to kind of change your own playstyle, right? And obviously the spawn hold break that they're going to have to do is going to be a little bit different than the rush you'll see on this map because it looks like they're probably going to just try to teleport Optical on the Bastion into like a weird angle just to gun people down on the Bastion just to make it over super quickly. We see the Bastion with the wall already out.
Yeah, wall comes out, Spooky gets chunked down, and lamps come out from both sides. Bastion's still alive in this fight. He's just peppering in damage as Phoenix on the monkey will be able to find Greeny, and Spooky finally gets that revenge on Robbie as this Bastion is set up and raring to go. Shooting in from afar. Chim finds Tanic B, and that was a nice close hold break from the side of Goliath.
And that's exactly how you want to break a chokehold on Havana. You know, you get the Bastion and just move him around to the point where he can't be chased down. The stagger on the Baby Diva, not as brutal as it could have been, but still pretty bad. And now you're going to see this insane setup that you get to do with a Bastion all the way up on this high ground.
Spooky fell off high ground twice there. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it looked like it wasn't. As he fell off, TP'd back up, then fell off again. And
you know, it happens.
It does. And a nice headshot from Tanic on the squall there, but he will pay for it as Chimmerin finds him. 2-man Blizzard here. Does freeze up the monkey and the bat, but Optical goes down to Hayden, doing a lot of work in this backline. Nice pin here onto Phoenix, and Phoenix 1 HP here. He's not going to live for much longer. As, you know, Hayden Overwatch team, that was a brilliant recontest for them.
Yes, indeed, a brilliant recontest, and simply they knew how to play it, right? Once you get out of spawn with the Bastion, it becomes a matter of predictability. You know, even with a Symmetra, there's a lot of, you know, knowledge of what the Bastion wants to do. And then also the Blizzard just creating so much space, and only using the Blizzard in that last fight, you would get so much value out of these new ults.
Yeah, Robbie finds 2, first from Spooky, then onto Chim with the pin, but Optical returns it up with this tank formation, finds 2. And this Phoenix in the back, he's going crazy. Second life, he doesn't need it, he's just coming back in. Fist blazing, he's about to kill Ducks, and he does. Bomb comes out, doesn't find much, and Mr. Beastburger is going to lose his mech and his life, as Goliath, they knew what they had to do, and boy did they do it.
Yes, indeed. The second I say the Bastion pick is terrible, they shut me up, put me in my place as they're switching off of it, though. So, you know, in the end, who's really right? But no, the Bastion getting insane value and just kind of the combination of ults, right? But Hayden Overwatch team, they still have both of their support ults going into this next fight. They have the Earth Shatter to match Spookies on the other side, as well as this Deadeye coming from the Cowboy. I mean, we saw how much space it can generate, and if it can even get one pick as well as generating the space for the team, I mean, it's not only a one fight, it can snowball pretty quickly.
Yep, Shatter blocked here from Spooky. Window comes out. His Shatter, much bigger here. And Squall will die. Hayden goes down too, but so does Spooky, as we've said a lot this match. Chim finds one onto Robbie, and Dux will die to Optical. Trade his life for it, as Tanic still alive and well in this fight. May just trying to stick it out here, as D.Va is pushing Cart. Are they going to be able to find Tanic here? Yeah, they will, and this looks like it's very winnable for the side of Goliath, but unfortunately, not the case, as Hayden and his Overwatch team will actually just stagger back on here. Oh, what a lamp though from Hayden. Just keep things going.
Yeah, the lamp keeps the cowboy alive. Exactly when needed. I was worried Spooky was going to go down trying to chase down this cowboy on the flank, but now Spooky's trying to get in so aggressive, but the BAP heals aren't enough.
Again, I don't know what Spooky's team is like common with him about, but he's just kind of all on his own there. Only Squall to heal him, and there's way too much damage for him to sustain through. And Phoenix looking for his mech here, only at 20%, so they're gonna be at a massive disadvantage coming into this next fight.
Yeah, and in fights like that where you're losing your Reinhardt, the question kind of comes almost on your D.Va, right? Are you using your defense matrix, rotating it out with the Rein shield in order to eat that damage? And if you're not doing that for your Rein, he might as well just be playing Overwatch 2 early. He's a solo tank that just gets battered and bruised. Meanwhile, of course, 2 minutes now on the clock. And I feel as though Goliath are setting themselves up pretty well here to take this next fight.
Yep. High Noon and Window come out here, but Chim does have this Blizzard. Will High Noon catch anything? Yeah, it does catch him! That cancels his Blizzard too, as Bomb comes out here, doesn't find anything, and Tanic be using this Dust Blossom to find Edenhall. Hey, Overwatch team, that was a well-played fight from them, but I just have no idea what Goliath is doing.
I mean, that was the clutch Deadeye to save right there. The Blizzard was going to come underneath. There was a small chance the defense matrix might have eaten it, but obviously that's being left to a alternate timeline at this point. And Hayden's Overwatch team, they managed to secure that fight in the exact ways they need to, because they still have ults to keep going, right? So now you're in a huge defensive position. The only difference is, though, Squall has this amplification matrix online. I feel like it's going to be large, but not as large as the bomb.
The bomb just in the backline finds Squall, but Beastburger will go down to Spooky. There's no BAP in this fight for Goliath, though, so they're going to have to play really safe and really passive here. And only 1 minute left. They may just wait. They won't. Optical pops the High Noon, and this is a brilliant wall. Robbie, he's off the side, and Tanic B, he's dead too. That was really good synergy. First time in this match, we've really seen it from Goliath. As Chimrin, nice headshot onto Greeny. And Cart will be moving here, as Squall probably coming back here, and I'm not even sure if Hayden Overwatch team is going to go for a contest. Never mind, they will, but this mech is dead.
Yeah,
B comes out here for Dux, but again, we're gonna have to see. That's a nice shatter here. Big shatter from Spooky, and Phoenix will find Beastburger. Dux will go down to Optical as well. Hey, no more lamb for him, and Robbie goes down. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty much second point all wrapped up for Goliath, but pretty close to overtime.
Yes, indeed, but Hayden lived pretty long there, but it should be just killing the May, right? Like, there's no way a stall attempt's actually going to work here.
I never know with these teams. Like, that shatter, it's massive, but do they have enough follow-up? Not if Edenhall has anything to say about it. As Optical says, yeah, I'll use High Noon here. This loser's just sitting on Cart. And finally, second point will get got after, like, 2 minutes ago, when I already said it was going to get got.
Yeah, it's finally going the exact way it needed to. But Goliath is kind of okay with this, right? There's just over a minute to get to the end and having to cap point C. I mean, you all of a sudden are in a doable position. And we're seeing Optical go over to the Ashe now instead of the Cowboy. Very interesting. Potentially trying to kill the Kree before the Deadeye.
Not able to do it. Greeny finds two, both the main tank and the flex support, two of the most important people in this composition, and they are pushing up. Optical, half HP here. Will he get cleaned up? Almost 31 HP! And yeah, Beastburger will find him, and Goliath are going to pretty much have to back up all the way into spawn. Spooky decides to push out, and with this window, he may be able to just sustain here for a little bit, but Chim to the left, Phoenix will go down, and another really staggered fight here from Goliath. The shatter, it's nice. It finds three from Spooky. Optical able to finish Tannic off with his dynamite, but this bomb, Robbie finds a pin onto Squall, and yeah, another really staggered in fight for Goliath, and 20 seconds left. I don't know what they're going to be able to do here.
Yes, indeed. It just kind of all comes down to what picks can they get, and we're seeing the pin on the Diva maybe, so this could be the opening Goliath needs now with the beat.
Yeah, with the beat and with the pin, but nice headshot there from Optical, but not before Eden Hall goes down. Optical does have this Bob available, and Squall finds a nice kill on the Robbie. They are in overtime now, so they gotta stick on this cart. Tannic just looking to get out here. They're sending to another Blizzard, so they're able to keep that and be able to use the next fight. Oh, nice shots there from Optical, able to find Hayden, and he will be respawning for this next fight.
Yeah, but here comes the terrifying truth of both teams are going to have male. But for Hayden's Overwatch team, that's all they have. Either Diva could be the hero right now, either for the cap or not. Or we could just see the Venn diagram on point, which could just freeze everybody up and ultimately do nothing.
Oh, what a wall! Oh my god, that wall was insane from Tannic. It stops Bob from getting back there and doing damage. And Greeny finds a kill on the Eden Hall. Both lamps straight out here. Phoenix finds a kill on the Robbie. Spooky does go down to Tank Me, but the bomb in the back is huge. Hayden goes down. Optical cast Dynamite finds Greeny. Are they going to be able to do this for Goliath? This Optical, he's going to get the mech. And Phoenix finds Tannic, but Squall and Optical both go down in the process. Phoenix finds his counterpart Diva, Mr. Beastburger, but this card is getting stalled out by Darts. Chimp finds a nice kill, but it's only 3 on point here. Wall is going to be massive, but Doom, he's coming back, and he is not going to last long here. Greeny will go down, and Ryan touching point. Lamp is good here, but it will go down really fast. Whoa, my god, Robbie. Is he going to live? Robbie lives on point. Nobody focused him down as that window just kept him alive. B-drop comes out here from Dux, and Somber is here to stall from Tannic B. Tannic B will find Optical Crash, and that is huge. Goliath now at a disadvantage with Squall going down. Beat. Oh, bomb comes out here. Beat still getting charged up for Eden Hall, but Mr. Beastburger, he's finding so much value on this ball. Spooky goes down to Robbie, and Mr. Beastburger finds another one. This man is insane, as that's going to be it. Phoenix goes down, and what was looking like such a winnable fight for Goliath. Hayden Overwatch team, their initial stand for hot, because they are on fire.
Yes, indeed. That was absolutely a phenomenal overtime hold from them. Kind of almost lost, right? The Doomfist almost doesn't make it to cart in time. There was a May wall on the spawn door stopping Robbie on the line from touching. And as well as you highlighted, Robbie should have died so early in that stall. But Hayden with the window, jumping, dodging the Diva, pestering him way up his butt, just trying to kill him. And he manages to make it work, keep Robbie alive, and now they go up a map in this series, much to people's surprise.
Yeah, I mean, you predicted it. They are coming out strong here. Hayden Overwatch team, they look dominant. They looked pretty insane there. Like, point was pretty close to be capped there by Goliath, but I think through most of that, Hayden Overwatch team, they were in full control. You know, I hate to say it, but you know, MTD. It was a bit of an MTD thing.
It was a bit of an MTD. So, and again, it just kind of comes down to it, like, after evaluating that map and kind of giving it the eye test, watching through, I feel as though Spooky, for the most part, was making the right plays. There was 1 or 2 pins here or there that were like, okay, maybe you're just going a little too hard. But otherwise, it feels like Spooky was just trying to do the correct play, trying to push with the team, and unfortunately his team wasn't there to back him up. He didn't have his Diva's defense matrix, as well as the support from the rest of the team, and as a Reinhardt, you really need that. Anybody who's ever played main tank, whether it be on the ladder or in any community tournament such as this, can tell you that hero is fully reliant on the team around you, because otherwise you're just doing nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Teamwork definitely been a little bit of an issue, as you stated, but, you know, they might be able to clean it up for the next map, as we got to remember, Goliath did win last week, so they have something to go off of at least, and Hayden Overwatch team, you know, they're looking for the bounce back here, and they've primed themselves to get it here, as, you know, it's a battle between, you know, 2 really good teams with some really good players. I think, you know, during that fight, or during that game, Hayden and Squall were both extremely good flex supports, but I think Hayden just came out on top. He had better window usage, he had better lamp usage. He was just able to keep Robbie alive for longer than Squall was able to keep Spooky alive. So, you know, it's both team play and individual play that are leading to such a dominant performance for Hayden Overwatch team. And some subs will be made here in our Stonewall and Kekiwing I'm not exactly sure what that's. And Squall and Ho are out.
Yes, indeed. So maybe a change up to the support line is just what Goliath would like here. Obviously, you know, you got to make sure you get everybody a little bit of playtime, because why not? It's just kind of how the rules work. And, you know, this I feel like is the map obviously Goliath have to take, because it's a first to 2. If you lose this map, you're done. But, you know, you might have a better time on this map simply because it's not as rush centric. You know, you can do a lot more monkey compositions, even the double shield and stuff, whereas I feel Hayden Overwatch team, they've drilled rush and only rush. So, and even here you're seeing them try to run it out of spawn, not even attempting like a sim teleport. They're just running rush as though it's supposed to work on point A Anubis, which in all methods should not.
Yeah, I think Goliath can be really reliant on Optical here to be able to shoot them from afar. Chim does find one, but he'll trade his life for it. It's a nice headshot from Greenie. Stunwall is able to bring Chim back up, so Goliath at a temporary advantage here. Spooky finds the lamp, and Hayden falls to 1 HP, and this is going to be some aggression stopped here from Hayden Overwatch's team as Mr. Beastburger, he's just trying to get his mech back, but he's going to get meleeed down. Hayden Overwatch's team in a very precarious position here as, I don't know how, but Robbie finds a fire strike kill onto Chim. And Optical just going to be firing him from afar. No mercy boost at the current moment, but they're just going to be trading blow for blow here. As it's looking like a pretty good defense here for Goliath.
Yes, indeed, and it's very interesting the way they're playing this defense. Right, it's super split. A lot of characters just kind of all over the place poking, and that's kind of how you have to deal with rush. You can't let them look in just one direction, make them look all over, split their attention, and they fall over. And having to commit the window there, though, not the best thing, especially when your Pharah falls right after to the Echo Beam. But you get it, res. Didn't happen.
Yeah, Stonewall able to get these reses off. Pretty good for Mercy player. That's what you want to do. That's you gotta play safe and just get those reses. But this bongo here for Phoenix will be massive as the small choke point and Optical's barrage. Yeah, they're gonna come in clutch here. Lamp already used here too. Oh, what a good, well-timed beat. Ducks with a massive play. High Noon from Greenie finds Kikuing. And Spooky will go down to Hayden. This Hayden Overwatch team, they made a lot of space here with these ults and these plays. And, you know, that was just really good timing, especially from Ducks there with that beat, to be able to keep them alive through that push.
Absolutely, it's just so massive, especially when you can eat not just the Pharah barrage, but all of the damage Goliath was kind of pouring in there. And now you're seeing Goliath kind of have to give up the goat, as it were. They're off of the double shield variation with the Orisa Rhine. They're onto their Diva now, which is, it's super interesting. You're opting back into this rush mirror when you saw how it went on Nirvana. You really, this is what you want.
I'm not sure. Riptire comes out, finds Greenie as Tanic Beast copy will go down. Phoenix micro missiles down onto Hayden. And Goliath, they're going to be able to hold strong here with all these kills going in their direction. Kekuing will go down, but yeah, the majority of the kills are going the way of Goliath. Just some ult charge going to be given here, and this might be a really big stagger actually here on the Mr. Beastburg if he's able to stay alive here, and if Goliath do it right.
Ooh, yeah, that's always unfortunate. You get those baby diva staggers. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of how the game of Overwatch evolves, right? If you can stall them out. Interestingly enough, Goliath's diva is still out of the mech, so we're having to watch Phoenix desperately shoot this pulse pistol straight down main, hopefully getting that percentage, finally ticking up, having the mech online. And now potentially we're going to see dueling windows here when this next fight breaks out, as it seems like Hayden's Overwatch team wants to push this left side.
Yep, nice wall here on Spooky. He actually lands on top of that little intersector there. he gets stunned out of a shatter. Robbie, he stunned Spooky out of a shatter with his shatter. And now Spooky will go down. Greenie finds the kill onto him. It's Tanakby finds the BAP in the back line. Nice freeze here out onto Stonewall, whose rally didn't really get much, but the beat now from Ducks here. Bob on point. Robbie gets the pin. There's 6 people on point. Nobody's dead for Hayden Overwatch team here. Bomb comes out. Will that be able to find anything? It will find Ducks here. Robbie also getting beat up by this ball, but Jim finds a kill on the Tanakby. Phoenix with the melee into Hayden, and it's looking like Goliath is gonna be able to stall here, but it's not for lack of trying from the side of Hayden Overwatch team, as that was some insane gameplay.
I mean, I don't know. I think that was the largest MTD we've seen tonight, and that Robbie's been diffing pretty hard so far. The fact that you're canceling Shatter with your own Shatter, I mean, obviously, you know, there was a part of it that it was probably pure dumb luck, just the timing. You got a little bit of a ping buff or something, what have you. But at the same time, that's just immediate mental damage. And now Spooky had to reset the ult charge entirely, whereas Robbie's about to have another Shatter online and probably another Fire Strike. Could be huge for this next fight.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Chim to get something with his Riptire. Greeny finds Kaching first. I've just been told it's Kaching, by the way. Spooky goes down, but Tanipy trade out for him. Robbie, nice pin on the Stonewall here. Gonna stop any of that break from being able to live. Melee and the Phoenix, but Hayden will go down to the Riptire here. Point is being contested here as it's so back and forth, but Ducks with the kill on the Phoenix. Hayden over our team, they got 4 on point. Lamb comes out, not really onto anyone in particular. Kaching goes down to the melee by Ducks. That's been so important in these fights. Stonewall is back and on the Moira here, gonna be able to keep Spooky alive for a little bit longer. Beastburger just trying to kill Spooky, but he's got a lot of sustain. Tanipy will eventually find him, but not before Phoenix gets back. This blizzard from Tanipy might be massive here, but doesn't come out before Optical finds Ducks. Bob also dropped here. The lamp comes out from Kaching too. This bomb is big, yeah, just finds the lamp, but that might be what they need. But Optical with a headshot on the Beastburger, and Tanipy goes down to Kaching too. That. Both sides playing insanely good there, but Goliath just able to have the better stall here. Spooky will do a little bit of tactical feeding, a little bit of banting, if you will. But in the end, Goliath will be able to hold.
And this is the definition of getting 2 CP right here. You're going in, you're winning the initial team fight, and you're starting to build percentage, but the issue is the stall is just too great. And because you're not winning, getting either a clean team wipe or anything like that, you know, getting the cut off actually by this next blizzard.
Yeah, everything's coming out here. Ducks uses the beat, Robbie uses the Shatter. It finds 2, it's so big! 4 kills now for the side of Hayden Overhead's team, and they will clean up the rest as, you know, it's just Jim here, and he will go down. 37 seconds left. Hayden Overhead's team takes second point.
Yes, indeed, and they take it not maybe in the style they wanted to. Should have happened 3 minutes ago, honestly, but at the same time, Goliath, they put up a heck of a stall. Truly impressive from them, but now, again, we're back on pretty much the same situation on Havana. Goliath's end goal is in sight. It's just that there's a very massive presence standing in their way, and that presence is Robbie. I'm going to go ahead and say it. With the support he's getting, it's just, I don't know if you're going to be able to run over that as easily. Maybe on first point, just because the Reinhardt's a little bit less powerful there, but come second point, you have an uphill battle, Goliath.
Yeah, as we all know, Robbie, he's one of the best. He's the cream of the crop of the main tanks, and you know, he's actually gonna be on the Orisa here. Orisa, boring character, falling asleep just talking about her. But you know, he's good at her, and you know, he was one of the most expensive players, I believe, for the draft. And you know, if Goliath stick to this rush, and they might just get poked down here. You know, Tanic be on the Torb. It's going to be a lot of pressure onto Optical with these teleports about how Goliath are going to be able to position here.
Yes, indeed, and these teleports are also going to be crucial for just kind of getting 2 points safely, right? Now that we're seeing Hayden's Overwatch team switch over to something that isn't rushed, they're on the double shield comps. It's going to be about, if your D.Va's not eating the dynamite from the Ashe, you kind of have to just teleport away from it, as weird as that is to say. Just teleport before I can hit you, Smile. It's that easy. And yeah, we're seeing the TP directly to the point as a pause is called from Ducks.
Wow.
No. Wow.
What are the chances?
Obviously, you know, Ducks probably had some issue going on with the PC or just somebody on the side of Hayden Overwatch team, and Ducks was the first one to hit it. But that TP was about to go so quickly, and it still is. They're still going to get to point first, but I feel as though this is going to give Hayden Overwatch team the perfect time to kind of be able to react and figure out exactly how to beat what's going to point right now. And, you know, it's just, we're going to see if Goliath can adapt.
I mean, yeah, that's unfortunate. They wanted to go fast. They wanted their enemies to be like, oh crap, they're doing this. But unfortunately, now they have time to prepare, and it's gonna be something. As you know, now they know. But still, with the Torbjorn and all the other stuff going on, they might be able to hold here as just a bit of unfortunate stuff for Dux here, as he is the one who called the timeout and the one who is having some technical issues.
The hardware issues, of course, you know, it happens to the best of us. We're all kind of just doing our own stuff, working off our own PCs, whether it's a PC or potentially, you know, a mouse issue or something. Unfortunately, you need it all to play, but it does seem as though it's been resolved and we've already missed the start of the fight.
Yeah, that's just on us, on our side, but, no, Spooky just trying to hold the point here, but a lot of poke coming out. They will be able to get this first tick here, and with 3 on point, they might be able to get another one if nobody touches, but, yeah, they will actually get the next one, and Kaching's lamp goes down. Spooky just brawling out, but he's so low. That turret has not been dealt with, and it's just shooting in. Mr. Beastburger will be able to find the melee, and Spooky and Stonewall will go down to Greeny, as, you know, that fight may have gone the way of Hayden Overwatch team, but with 2 ticks, I think Goliath are going to be just fine with that.
I mean, yeah, because now the point is kind of, it's almost to the point where you kind of have to have somebody ready to touch it at all time, but there's pretty much not a single speed movement ability on the side of Hayden's Overwatch team, unless you want to count Torbjorn's Overload. But, you know, it's obviously looking forward into this next fight. They're going to have the Molten Core to worry about, as well as the Bob, actually. And meanwhile, on the other side, ooh, look at this ingenious, yeah, this rotation is big. It could catch the Ashe off guard.
Unfortunately, Phoenix tries to 1v1, but Ashe can just coach gun out. Torbjorn actually being the one to stall the point here. He takes a few hits and has to back off, and he will get frozen and caught out here. One-man shatter from Spooky. We'll be able to find Dux, actually, and Spooky will probably die here. No, he's so low HP. If that turret just hits him a few times, he's going to go down. Hayden will find Chim, and Kaching will go down, as well as Optical to Robbie, and Hayden Overwatch team, they know what they're doing. They're not going to fall for some silly little TP rotations. Now, 2 minutes left for Goliath's attack.
I mean, they almost did, right? They were pretty much on the verge. That shatter from Spooky, it was a very worthwhile shatter. You're taking the Baptiste out of the fight. Pretty much means no heals for the double shield, but somehow they just sustained long enough. And now we're seeing Optical go over to the Ashe themselves, of course, getting off the Symmetra after using that wall ultimate, which means no more cheeky TPs though. Oh, and that halt. That was delicious.
That's a Robbie special.
That's, again, it's just the Robbie diff. He's too powerful.
And they have to wait. Yeah, someone check his PC. Main tanks, they have to be hacking. No good main tanks are allowed to be league. Come on.
Not a single one of them. But yeah, as you said, they're forced to wait. And how do you even get your Baptiste over? It's gonna have to be the main.
They have to use wall.
Yeah, they have to use wall super early. And now they're gonna have to go straight into all of these ultimates. You only have one beat. You can counter either Bongo or Gravitic Flux. You can't stop both.
Ain't no
less than a minute on the clock. Yeah, less than a minute on the clock. They're chilling.
Oh, this bomb.
The bomb!
Whoa, the bomb! They have double shield and they can't block with either of them. Tanic B drops the Molten Core, finds Kaching. Point's gonna be contested here. Spooky finds Hayden as Tanic B, 1 HP. Chim's gonna find Dux, actually. Phoenix finds Tanic B. And that bomb was a great opening for Goliath.
That bomb was literally the saving grace. As you said, 2 shields, neither of them could block the bomb. It's simply because Mr. Beastburger was repositioning the Sigma shield, so it was still on that 2-second cooldown that it has. Could not move it in the way of the bomb in time, and I guess just everybody else thought, oh, the shield will be there. We don't have to worry about it. We won't move. And just too little too late. And now we're seeing Robbie just has such an ego on the Rhine, gives up Bongo, does not use the supercharger, instead just goes in on the Rhine.
Yeah, and Robbie will get frozen up. He's able to make it out though. Kaching's lamp will go down, but Robbie eventually finds Spooky. Phoenix trades him out, but a nice headshot there from Chim. They go to find Dux. Trades are going back and forth, and they will favor Hayden Overwatch team. Chim dying here, and Phoenix gonna get staggered out. Does have the mag. He's gonna see if he can squish anyone. Can't.
He actually gets back in mag?
He's gonna get staggered for even longer though. I mean, Spooky is coming back. Are they gonna be able to keep him here?
No, it's over. Yeah, there he goes. That's a good 30 seconds off of the clock, which you hate to see if you're Goliath. But if you're Hayden Overwatch team, you're great. You're chilling because now you only have 2 minutes to worry about and you have the ults to kind of rotate through at least the next minute, right? You can use Blizzard on one fight, Bob on one fight, and then the amplification matrix on another. You're setting yourself up for success, and if you're Goliath, I don't think you want to invest ults, but they're doing it anyway.
Yeah, that was a nice shatter. Only onto Dux, and then the pin onto Robbie. He's coming back. He's getting his revenge, but he will die. And Chim gonna be freezing up here. Almost gets killed on the Tanning Piece, 1 HP, but Greeny is the one who's clutching up here. As Hayden on the Lucio, you know, he's doing Hayden things, and you know, only a minute 40 left.
It was very interesting. You kind of committed Bob and Shatter into that fight, and Spooky was getting work done, you know, killing the support as well as going on to the other Reinhardt, getting him out of the fight. But there was just no follow-up after that, and, you know, it's 2 CP. You have to get a team wipe, otherwise there's really no point to anything you're doing on the offense. And we're seeing a pause called, but on the other side this time, interestingly enough, with a minute 23 left on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, probably another technical pause, as you know, not many other pauses are allowed here. But I mean, Hayden Overwatch team, they're having a mighty good defense here, but it's just gonna take one nice cycle for Goliath to be able to take it. And I mean, it's gonna be an uphill task for them.
I mean, yeah, it's a minute 23 and they just reset their ult bank entirely. The upside is because Hayden Overwatch team, they capped with less than a minute in the time bank overall, they can cap in overtime. That's okay. They'll still get a minute back, but obviously, you know, capping at all, that's just kind of the goal right now. You're not really worried about the time bank anymore. It's just, we need to cap just to stay in this series. And Hayden Overwatch team, they know that. They have the ultimate still online. I don't think they invested everything from that last fight. They should still have, I believe, the Bob in order to wreak havoc on any push that Goliath wants to take. And I feel as though the best thing Goliath could do is force out ultimates and just kind of heal through them. Build your support ults. That's probably the best way forward for you if you want to get a shot at going to extra rounds here on Anubis.
I mean, they have a minute 20, and it looks like Kaching got completely disconnected, so no ultimate for him, and still knows only 27% to beat. It's gonna be rough here for Goliath, I gotta say. They will have Blizzard and Bomb here, but on the side of Hayden Overwatch team, they're gonna have a window, they're gonna have Shatter, and they may even get a Bomb here. So.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, we have not seen a D.Va eat a Blizzard all night, and that should bode well for Chimoran. If there's an ultimate to secure you a team fight, it's going to be the Blizzard, simply because it freezes everybody up in its radius. We all know how it works, of course. But, yeah, it's just going to be very, very interesting to see what these teams kind of want to do moving forward, as we are still just kind of, unfortunately, stuck waiting on the lovely, lovely DC from, is it Chiching, right? Is it the Kerching? There we go.
Yeah, Kaching.
Yeah, reading my notes. Kaching.
Mr. Mustard helped me out here, and we will be going back in as Kaching gonna be choosing BAP. Who would have guessed? 0% ult charge here with only a minute left. That window, it might actually come up, but it'll be at the end of this next fight. And
yes, indeed. But I feel like you can wait for that last fight, you know what I mean? I feel like go in right now, force as many ults as you can. I feel like that's exactly what you need to do. Like, look how Spooky's going in right now. This is what I want to see.
Yeah. Oh my God, Robbie, what do we do? What are you doing, man? You can't just do that. And he gets spit on the Spooky. Oh my Lord, it's the same 3 letters we've been saying all night: M, T, and D. As okay. Robbie, he finds 3 there.
But the highlight, right? Let's look on the upside here for just half of a second and just huff the copium for Goliath. You know, you forced out window, you forced out the Shatter, you built Shatter of your own. Spooky's got it online here, and one more Fire Strike. There it is. Shatter's online. You're going into this final fight, you have a resurge of confidence now, especially now that Chimoran's over to... Wait, hang on. We wasted Mail in there somewhere, and then we switched to Doomfist. Never mind, it's lost. It's over.
Hey. I mean, it's not over just yet, as Spooky Shatter gets blocked, and Blizzard does come out. Chim finds Greeny, but Kaching will go down. They got no heals, and Chim dies the bomb, and the remake on the Spooky. Yeah, it's over. Unless Optical pulls out like a 6.5k here. Dux, he's got the window. Phoenix goes down. Optical goes down. There's no one left. It's over, Chief. And Goliath, they're done, as both of these teams going to be even at 1-1 in their records.
Yeah, I feel as though, like, I truly was trying to give Goliath the benefit of the doubt. I truly believed it was doable. I don't know if maybe Blizzard got wasted and I wasn't looking, and so that's what prompted to swap the Doomfist. But if there was still a Blizzard online, or it should have been held or something, but unfortunately the past is the past. Hayden's Overwatch team, they take it with the resounding fashion that I expected to. So, you know, I get to be a smug bitch on Twitter. I enjoy that. That's always fun. For the 4 viewers of B League, you know, it's always fun.
110. We have a couple more, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I meant the 4 Twitter view, like the people who go on Twitter.
Oh. Yeah, well, most B League players are too young to have Twitter accounts. So.
Exactly. See, so.
True.
Yeah, and I mean that was a pretty good game overall. What's up, Jimmy? What'd you think?
Hey, well, I'm still kind of in the void here, apparently. Yeah, that was a great match. Honestly, like, great job there from Hayden Overwatch team. I know it's kind of easy to point fingers here at Robbie, who has had a great performance here on Reinhardt. But personally, I kind of feel like the true unsung heroes here of his team was the support line. We had Dux on the Lucio having some great amp engages, great beat timings, and then Hayden, who has honestly every time I've seen him throw down a lamp, it's been just like great timing. They've both really been able to enable Robbie to play his aggressive play style that we've known him for. So I do want to give like special shout outs to those two who've been really performing well tonight. And now, Megalaz and Strato, who would you kind of point out as like your standout player here, besides maybe Robbie? I think we've talked a lot about him already. He's been popping off for sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, you can highlight Robbie from here till the cows come home. Chad will do it for us, as well as we've already done it. Of course, the support line, as you said, doing phenomenal work. Hayden honestly truly does deserve some good shouts, because there was a lot of times where the diva on the other side was just straight up in his face, breathing down his neck, and he was still just hopping around the diva, somehow keeping himself alive by juking enough, and instead of calling for help, just able to mitigate that as well as keeping your team alive. Like, it's just the perfect way to play BAP, and it's just truly a good shout for Hayden.
Yeah. What about you, Strato?
For me,
you got anyone you wanna maybe gas up here on the broadcast for playing well? It could be on Goliath too, because I think Goliath definitely had their moments as well. Would you agree?
You know, it's not a Goliath player, sadly. It is Tanic B. I think probably just had the best highlights there as May. You know, he just did what he needed to do. His walls were, I gotta say, a lot better than Optical's, or sorry, Chim's. Chim was on the May. So I just think Tanic B played really well and was kind of a reason that allowed his team to win and just be able to play how they wanted to play.
Okay, cool. Well, we have a couple players here to talk to. I believe we have actually players from both teams here. We have Hayden, Greeny, and Spooky joining us here from Goliath. I guess let's talk to Spooky first, as the loser of this match. Spooky, how are you feeling after that one?
It felt super winnable after that match. I felt like it was super close, and it was literally like 2 team fights away so it's 1 team fight each map. I felt like we could have just won. On Havana first, we could have won and full held them, and then Anubis last fight was super winnable, and we were just there. We were so close to beating them.
Yeah, unfortunate disconnect for sure. That's just the nature, I guess, of online tournaments. And as you said, it was kind of like in your reach every time on both maps to win it out. So I think you guys shouldn't hide from your performance here tonight. I think you guys still played really well. Mega Strato, you guys have anything to ask?
Honestly, just as you said, it was super close. Much closer than a 2-0 scoreline would kind of tell you. As well as I feel as though there were points where you, Spooky, were getting the better of, you know, not just Robbie, but almost the entirety of the team over there. do you feel as though you guys were suffering from any synergy issues just because, it's still week 2? Maybe we're just kind of working through stuff, maybe have some new subs or anything like that going through?
Yeah. Of course, having to trade people because they don't want to play, and then having to pick up people that were never, that had like basically no time to play with us, and then picking up someone who wasn't drafted because someone left. It's just super winnable. We go there next time. I felt like they just sustained us, and that was our loss there. They just out sustained us.
Okay, well, you guys are still. Sorry, Sarah, you want to say something? I'll let you go first.
I wasn't gonna ask Spooky anything. I was actually gonna ask the Hayden Overwatch team members because we got 2 of them in here. So,
well,
how are you guys?
Let's get to that in a second, because I think we should finish out our interview here with Spooky first. So Spooky, thank you very much for coming here. You guys are still 1-1. You already have a win, so I don't think you should be feeling too down on this one. So just rest up and go again next week.
Yeah, I just want to beat them real hard after this game. It pissed me off. I'm telling you, I will be back and I will fucking destroy them because they pissed me off.
Sheesh. Okay. Damn. Okay, and he left after that. Wow, crazy. Okay, well let's actually go talk to the winners here. Hayden Overwatch team. We got Hayden and Greeny, aka or formerly known as Freddie Benson here. Now you guys kind of slipped up a little bit in your first week, but you guys, honestly, you looked like a completely different team tonight. So I was gonna ask, how did you manage to bounce back? Did you just go back to the drawing board? Did you look at wards? How was your last week looking like?
I can take this. Last week it was kind of a clusterfuck. We didn't have, or can I swear?
Spooky just did it. I guess.
Okay. I'm gonna go with
that.
Okay, but yeah, no, it was a little bit of a mess. We were missing Greeny, the goat. Might I add. And we only had 2 scrims of practice. We didn't really know what we were doing. And we kind of just ran our heads into the match and we lost. But this time we had a lot more practice. We went over a lot more stuff. I created a brand new channel in our team chat called Smart Stuff. And we've been grinding that out. There's paragraphs after paragraphs. We've just been grinding.
Oh, I love hearing that, yeah.
And yeah, I feel like we just actually had a plan coming into this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually had a question here too. So you guys have a really solid core, especially with Robbie and with the Hayden and Duck's backline. But I did see you guys kind of switched up the backline there with you swapping over to the Lucio there at points. Did you plan on that, or was that kind of just a spur of the moment thing?
No, that was more spur of the moment. Because of the defense we were playing like a double shield bat brig, and because we haven't practiced it, and Dux actually has experience on that kind of comp, we wanted to run him on the bat because he had more experience with the rotation stuff, and I could play brig just fine. So yeah, we just ran that, and then second point we just called to run rush, and I was like, okay, I can play Lucio too.
Sounds good.
Great. So now you're 1-1. You already played 7-piece and now Goliath, of course. So I was gonna ask, since we don't have the schedule for next week yet, but it is a round robin, so you will eventually play every team. But if you had to choose now your next opponent for next Friday, who would you who's the team that you want to face? And just a quick explanation as to why.
Green, you want to take this?
I don't know any of the teams, man. I know Nitemare, but that's only because people have been saying they're overrated.
Okay.
Okay.
Personally.
So yeah, you can take that.
Personally, yeah, Nitemare probably, or Rockets. Both of them, I feel like we can kind of just roll. I think the only team I'm really worried about is 7-piece, so I'm not really too concerned about any team.
Okay, well, you sound pretty confident there. I like it. Mega, you had anything else you wanted to ask?
Not really. I think it was pretty open and shut for you guys. You showed what you can do, and especially not only forcing rush on Anubis, but able to kind of show that you can do the double shield stuff as well. It's going to be look forward to you guys go throughout the season.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out here. Great showing from you guys. And good luck next week, I guess. As we say goodbye to Hayden and Greeny here. And actually, good thing that you mentioned 7Ps. What a segue, because that's actually going to be our next match. It's coming up. It's going to be 7Ps taking on, I believe, Atomic. Yeah, I'm correct. Atomic. So you don't want to miss this one. It's going to be our last match for the night. We'll be back right after this break. And we are back, everyone. We got one more match to go tonight. It's going to be Atomic taking on 7Piece. Again, like our last match, it's going to be two teams that had very different starts to their season. I'm joined here by our casters for this next match. It's going to be Mara and Blank. How you two doing?
Hello. Hello. Doing great today.
Awesome. Well, yeah, so like I said, two teams again with similar or different starts. Atomic, who a lot of people have predicted to be like the best team in this B-League season, just off of their like individual skill alone. They had a pretty rough loss to Redwood Rockets last week. They're currently 0-1, and then 7Piece, they had a really standout win against Hayden Overwatch team. So they're on opposite ends here of our standings. Now even considering how their first games went, would you still say that Atomic is the favorite going into this one?
I think it's one of those things. Sorry, Mara, after you.
I think that it may have just been a bit of a fluke victory from 7Piece, considering that the side of Hayden Overwatch team was missing one of their star players in Greeny, or also known as Freddie Benson, and obviously they performed very well today against the side of Goliath, who played very well last week. It may well have just been something that we, could have not, or we may not have anticipated from that. Yeah, yeah, that could describe it.
Yeah, and the other thing too is even though Hayden Overwatch team were down a core piece, I did note that last week in the Rhine Rush mirror on Oasis, 7Piece did lose that round. And although it went to 99-99, it felt like Hayden were kind of in control through a lot of that. So that's a kind of a key thing to note here, especially in perhaps Hanamura, where we might see a Rhine come out.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely see a lot of rush in this series, especially with these teams.
Yeah. Definitely, I think that's definitely a possibility with C-Dub or Cute White Boy here on the Rhine. Definitely a hero he's known for. If you look at the rosters here, I definitely feel like this has to be a must-win game for Atomic, because like I said, they're favorites here in B-League, and I mean they're like 200 SR above everyone else, like on average on paper here on this roster. They have a really great main tank with C-Dub. They have a great DPS line. They have a pretty good support line here with Simon, of course, former A-League player. And 7Piece, they have some good pieces there. No pun intended. We have Chicken here on, I believe he's going to play off tank again. We have Freya playing here. We have Italian Mob 64, who is Chicken's cousin. He's not playing tonight, actually, because he's on a wedding, I've been told before this game, sadly. But I hope he's having fun there. So, it could be a close match, but I do feel like Atomic, they have the pressure here to win, as it's really a must-win game for them.
The ball's definitely in. Oops.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The ball's definitely.
I will have my webcam figured out for next week.
The ball's definitely in Atomic's court here. This is definitely their game to prove themselves or just flop here.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Atomic too. I mean, I will say of the O2s, we saw a lot of teams suffer last week. Atomic in their loss on Eichenwald in particular looked particularly strong in that sort of rush Cowboy Reaper look. So we'll see if that serves them here today, because like you both have said, lots for them to prove in today's match to prevent going down 0-2 in the standings overall.
Definitely. They definitely want to stop that from happening. As we had in Rialto, a new map for tonight. Haven't seen that one yet, so that is my cue to stop yapping and hand it over to our casters. So I'll see you guys later.
So Atomic on the defense here I think that's probably their standard roster here, pulling out like a Winston Diva hyperdive sort of look, while 7Piece, at least for the moment, is looking to favor the rush with a Doomfist. I assume Bordondo is going to switch to a Mei. Maybe he pulls out the Doomfist. I don't know, honestly. I've seen Bordondo play quite a few heroes in his time in BPL.
Oh, there's a swap though to Hanzo, right as you call it. Yeah, Doomfist would have been an interesting pick for sure. With this Reinhardt comp, but the Hanzo fits in much nicer here. Lots more one-shot potential, but also, of course, susceptible to this dive here. This Tracer Echo lineup we're seeing from Atomic between Hammerdown and Kemi. So we'll see how that kicks off here as C-Dub and Interflux up on the high ground, watching the attackers take the payload.
So it seems that 7Piece is actually looking to pull out this Doomfist Wedge, which I personally am a fan of. It's always more entertaining to watch this. At least in my opinion, Doomfist is a very wacky character. So rolling out here, they're just starting to get some space on the payload. Kemi is just peppering them from range with the sticky bombs with the down boost from Rafa, and the Siren, I believe, is kind of just spamming in their shields from across the map. Kemi, though, taking a decent amount of poke early, being prevented from getting a whole lot of ult charge here. 50%, actually, never mind, is pretty good for about 30 seconds of the round here.
Yeah, but on the flip side, it's proving pretty difficult for Cartoon Blaze to get a good bead on Kemi, or really anyone on this high ground. Also being pressured by the Tracer on the side. Almost goes down there, and there's the first kill.
Sticky bombs are just disgusting to deal with, and now this really should just be them being stuffed into a corner here, unless there's some heroics here from the side of Sky. It doesn't look like it. And now the side of 7Piece does just have to leave here, because you can't oh wait, that was a dupe. Okay. I was really
I was about to say.
Okay, so a decent ego fight for the side of 7Piece, though. Getting the Shatter, getting to the beat, getting to the window, close to the bomb, and both the DPS ults. This is definitely a good start for them. But on the side of Atomic, their ult economy really isn't anything to scoff at there. You know, Primal Rage and Pulse Bomb are both very impactful ultimates, especially coming into a rush comp where they can split them apart or just keep them together with a Pulse Bomb and then destroy them. And now with the window coming out from the side onto the high ground, it should open up a lot of space for them, because now the side of Atomic really can't peek. Siren taking so much damage early from the side of Bean Cannon on the Diva is traded out for Bordondo, and does get rezzed up, so it's honestly not a great play, but Bean Cannon is continuing to be a menace in the backline, getting another kill on the side of Q White Boy. The bomb is used from Interflux, countered by the beat from Freya, but Cartoon Blaze picks up 2, the Baby Diva and the Tracer. Now this should be a 1 fight for the side of 7Piece with pretty decent time. You know, I believe about a 150 left in the bank here. Nothing really particularly bad, no particularly bad play from either side. I'd say just it was won by the picks that Cartoon Blaze got on the side of on the Cowboy.
Absolutely, yeah. Those 2 picks really sealed the deal. It was pretty much anyone's fight before that, despite the strong window opening there from the side of 7Piece. But going into this next fight, Atomic didn't actually use a lot in that lost fight. They've got the Valk, the Nano here. Nano in particular, of course, being quite impactful in this composition, as now 7Piece are attempting to take the high ground. Rafa pops the Valkyrie for a bit more sustain, and this fight is well underway.
Starting out here, Cartoon Blaze is going to be probably the key to victory here. If they can get a good stun here, or a Shatter onto the side of Q White Boy just to completely deny that Nano Boost. And with the Diva Bomb picking up another 2 for the Diva Mech and the Tracer from 7Piece, this is just looking like another relatively clean fight for the side of 7Piece until the Reinhardt and the Baptiste both fall. This could still be pretty questionable. They're all fighting in first spawn for the side of the defenders, and now they have just kind of won that fight.
Yeah, it swung right around. It looked like in that sort of enclosed space up on top, Bordando's Doomfist was getting a ton of value, but it just swings right back around. C-doubles, it pops the Primal Rage, put the period at the end of that sentence, and I did not see that fight swinging all the way back, so props to Atomic there for a crucial defensive stop.
They somehow ended up in first attacker spawn, which is not something that you see quite often here. Redondo making the switch over to the Ashe and put more pressure onto Kemi's Echo here is definitely a good switch in my opinion. Of course, already putting value on that switch. Kemi immediately falls, the res is used, but in return, QFI falls, and now with the window on the high ground, I don't think they can stop them. Having this high ground and this window advantage here is just going to give them a very solid push onto second here. And now, I don't think there's a whole lot Atomic can do here. They have basically no ult other than that Diva Bomb.
Yeah, not a chance. I mean, as soon as they've kind of given up on trying to hold up on the stairs, it was pretty much free pickings for 7Piece in their comp there, and that window just kind of punctuates it. There will be some contested from Hammerdown's Tracer, but it won't do enough as the point is capped here. And now Atomic kind of caught in no man's land. Hammerdown goes for the quick reset, and it's just another day at the shooting gallery for Bordondo.
Unfortunately, the rest of the team isn't as lucky, and now there's going to be quite a few late picks. Both of their tanks for Atomic fall that late into the fight is not a good start for your third-point defense from the side of Atomic here. Switching over to the Reinhardt, which I definitely think, I actually think they're about to switch to more rush style, at least with the Siren, Siren and Kemi, who both have their ultimates right now, which are definitely going to be very crucial in this last fight here.
Right, and the Diva Bomb as well. Going out on the side of Beanken takes out Rafa already. Kemi duplicates the Ashe, looking for the Bob, has built it. Fires it off, another Diva Bomb out as well. It's just
the Bob is huge.
Yeah, the Bob is huge though, the duplicate Bob. Bordando's a Bob of their own though, could opt to use it, but the fight may already be lost.
Kemi just carried there. That Bob was perfectly positioned to assassinate the back line of 7-piece. And now Atomic has finally seemed to have a relatively stable fight when I wouldn't say either team really has a clear ult advantage here. Actually, no, that's not true. What am I saying? Now Atomic, though, is switching over to the rush. I think they definitely have an advantage here with that Mei because 7-piece doesn't have a Mei, so you're not going to have the wall advantage. So if you can isolate Sky, then that's definitely probably going to be a free pick.
Right, but that first wall does not do much. The Bob is out from Bordando, though. But all the way around are Atomic. They've completely out-rotated them, got 2 picks to begin with. But Cartoon Place is trying to swing this Mira.
Doesn't seem like it should be enough here. It's going to be a scrappy fight, but in the end, I believe the side of Atomic will win this. Maybe not, because they have the lamp. Only the tanks for the side of Atomic up right now, but with the window from the Siren, it's definitely going to help them sustain here as long as the Siren does not fall. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And by the skin of their teeth, it seems like Atomic is holding third for at least the time being.
Yeah, that window was a great heads-up play there. Forced Beancan to try to commit onto the BAP, which is basically a suicide mission no matter how you swing it. And here, I mean, Atomic have just crafted a really strong defensive comp and defensive setup for themselves here. And not to mention the ult advantage that 7-piece had, I mean, they've got a lot coming up, but what they had at the time is pretty much evaporated with not much to show for it. As the time continues to dwindle, here's a high noon from Hammer Down.
Oh, the Shatter's absolutely massive from Sky, picking up the entirety of Atomic. That might just win them third point single-handedly. No other ults needed unless his Diva Bomb from Beancan is used to stall out the side of Atomic from getting to the point. Window used on Cart, and yep, the Diva Bomb is being used as I said it would be. And oh, the body blocking from Beancan is actually is really heads-up play there. Rafa cannot touch the Cart. You know, you're either walking through a Diva Bomb or you're walking past a baby Diva, which you can't do.
Yeah, that is a heads-up play for sure. I thought it would be a Diva Bomb on the card, but no. Right up to the spawn, specifically blocking off Rafa. Great play from the Diva there. And yeah, just as I'd called the high noon on the other side, the Shatter that I didn't even notice just completely floors Atomic there. But honestly, just once Atomics did switch to the Rhine comp there, it seemed they really, for a good solid amount of time, were able to stop the momentum of 7-piece there. So a strong showing from Atomic, who again, we mentioned this earlier, this is not quite a full-on do-or-die match for them, but they have a lot more to prove here than I feel that 7-piece do. So although 7-piece cap all 3, not a bad defensive showing from Atomic here. Let's see what they can do on the attack.
I think Atomic definitely has a good chance here because even though they weren't really consistently winning fights, they were winning fights when it mattered, and that is still very important even on attack. Because if you're not going to roll, you can at least win what 3-4 fights in a game and cap third, in overtime with like 20 seconds left, maybe something like that. And I think it could definitely lead them here to at least a map completion, if nothing else.
For sure. And in the time bank, of course, for 7-piece, it's 42 seconds. So not quite overtime, but still not the largest time bank in the world. But of course, we might be getting ahead of ourselves. Just 3 points ahead of Atomic, and let's see how many of them they can capture as they roll out again with this Winston Diva Echo setup. Pretty much what they had on defense for the first time. Down to every single hero, and going into what they faced in the previous round as well at the start with Bordando and the Doomfist.
Bordando already, though, taking a lot of early damage from Kemi's Echo. Kemi doing so much damage in these pre-fights, getting already a quarter of the way to the duplicate, which is such an important ability, especially considering how powerful it is. And now, this is definitely a good start to the fight for the side of Atomic here, but if they need to start getting these picks, or at least getting a lot of damage, good anti-nades on the side of a Siren, landing onto Cartoon and onto Freya, forcing out the Immortality field. That's how you want to start this fight for Atomic. And now, you really just have so much free space because they can't push up really far without getting punished. But the window coming out from Sly there might just stall them long enough to get that Immortality field back, and it seems like it has. Interflux loses their mech.
Right, yeah, that window really super crucial there for the defense, because after that nade came in, C-Dub pushing all the way forward, knowing the lamp is down as well. So, and then ultimately nothing comes of it, especially once that window is out. Now Beancan also has Diva Bomb, and C-Dub is down. So looking good here for 7-piece as the time bank continues to
late
dwindle.
as well. that can't be allowed to happen in these fights, especially when you really are on the clock. Well, it's a time-based game, obviously, but like late picks can't happen, especially when they're right at the end of the fight, because it just makes your re-engage take longer and longer until it just adds up to a point where you literally cannot cap. Bomb comes out from Bean Can into the back line, didn't seem to pick up anything, but the high ground control is starting to be secured from the side of Atomic. Doomfist, I believe it is. Meteor Strike being used into the backline. Freya falling right at the start of the fight there, and now Bordondo and Sly both fall. The DPS of Atomic are really coming alive right now, and that should be at least the first point, or the first half of first capped of Rialto, because that corner is really hard to get past.
Absolutely. And 7-piece will have a lot of tools for this re-engage. Most importantly, the window, I would say, but the high noon as well. And also the beat for sustain here. But a heads-up play there from Hammerdown as well to just blink past the Shatter and do a 180 pulse. Very stylish, did the job, and now Cute White Boy with that primal immediately loses half of his health bar, if not more, as the fight breaks out just before the checkpoint.
Diva Bomb being thrown here from the side of Interflux, being thrown into the backline, bomb in response, but the lamp is also used as well as the beat. And now, this really doesn't look like a fight that Atomic can win, just because the 7-piece has successfully gotten back on the cart. They have all the ults they could really want to hold this now, and it's really just kind of a little bit of tactical crouching, but a one fight for the side of Atomic just because of how obnoxious this first point is to cap on Rialto.
Yeah. And now I think we're seeing the full comp switch, and Atomic needed to do this. The dive was not breaking through, and it especially won't break through given the geometry at the end of first point there. So now Rafa on that Lucio, C-Dubs on the Rhine. Kemi will be coming up to the duplicate in the late fight over here, and Siren will have the Nano as well, but otherwise they're looking pretty dry for ultimates as Freya is kind of coasting around the side, waiting for the fight to break out here. 1 minute remains on the clock.
Really they don't have a whole lot right now. The ultimates, if they're used well enough for the side of Atomic, really only having 2 isn't that big of a deal here. But Interflux falls early in this fight, and they've lost their mech now. C-Dub going in with a Nano, just swinging wildly. The Pulse Bomb again from the side of Hammer down. The crucial pick onto Freya, and Sky as well falls to the Lucio of Atomic. This should be a first point cap finally for the side of Atomic. And just to put the period on that sentence, the dupe is used by Kemi. So now they can finally get a clean comp switch without... Oh, and there's a pause. A clean comp switch without having to sacrifice any ultimates for actually doing that.
Right, yeah, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier about Atomic showing up when it matters. And in the clutch there, they make the right comp switch. They're able to break through with the tools they have. Now they have another lease on life here on Rialto.
At least for the moment, yeah. I'm not entirely sure why there's a pause there. I assume maybe an internet issue or something like that. You know, it happens. It happens. Going on to second, though, what do you think? Do you have any predictions as to what's going to happen? Oh, never mind. We're already back in. Okay.
We're in on second now, but predictions. One of them was probably going to be a switch from Verdando, and we see exactly that to the Ashe, which is going to be super useful as 7-piece attempt to hold this high ground here. So a lot of this is going to come down to how much value that Ashe can draw, but also how effective this window coming in from Sky, or Sly, excuse me. There's the first mess up of the night, will be.
Bordondo, though, like on this Ashe into the Rush Mirror is not going to be particularly effective. Never mind. Okay, sure, yeah. Just window dynamite. Is it going to make me eat my words? Oh, stylish shatter from Sky on Key Whiteboard. Not going to come up to much, but at least does... You know, put a little bit of MTD there, but they should just be disengaging here for a reason, because they were already down their Cowboy, and now they really can't I keep saying really. They can't engage off of being down one, especially onto this brutal second point of Rialto, but they're already coming back into this with the respawns here.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tough call too, because I mean the 7-piece did have the numbers advantage, but they were also on the low ground. Probably want to set back up on these stairs and not give that up, in case Atomic were thinking of doing some kind of fast rotation there. The bomb comes out here on the side of Interflux, doesn't catch anything. The C-Dub on Sky, you're talking about MTD, and there we have it in the other direction here. It's Hammer down as well, gets the better of his counterpart.
The window used from Slide, not to very much effect. Neither is the beat from Freya. And now it looks like Atomic is finally starting to get some momentum in this game, on this map specifically. They finally capped second, really not in an overtime position, and now they have a really good chance to get some nasty stagger kills if they feel confident enough to do it. But it doesn't seem like they really have the money to put where their mouth is, because Rafa falls while trying to get those kills. I am having an issue right now. I'm sorry.
That is all good. It is quite the match so far, so I definitely feel you there. But yeah, that high noon from Cartoon Blaze forces Atomic all the way back, and of course they still have to wait for the Lucio to get back. Who will do just that? Speaking of that Lucio, they've got the beat on deck, they've got the window, it's out. Bob comes out as well, and a big shatter.
That's a 6-man. Sky is doing so much right now, and the Blizzard as well committed from the side of Atomic into really not a lot of value. With the shatter from C-Dub though, does pick up 3, and now nobody from the side of 7 Piece is really alive to get a whole lot of value here. Atomic may not cap, but they're definitely going to get some decent progress here onto third. But this could still be a very extended third fight. It honestly could still go either way, but seems like Atomic is making a smart move and just like getting out while they still can. And now they have a clean disengage, a good disengage here. Bomb coming in might actually pick up something. No, but the flash is putting so much pain onto C-Dub, but the wall is so crucial in this rush. And right there, it just shows that the Ryan just gets so punished. Buff is shredded in return. This could go either way, but with the window coming out on cart from a Siren, this is looking like a very good chance that Atomic cap third here with a decent time bank. Bob Bordano is just going to slow them down temporarily. Hammer Down right now is doing so much damage on this Cowboy, getting another high noon, I believe, in this fight. And the high noon recently picked up a low health Freya, who's going to be a really good falling tool, and now they should just cap in third with a pretty decent timing kill, I believe about 30 seconds.
Yeah, Hammer Down there just playing like they were absolutely possessed. I'm very glad our observers caught that, because holy cow, the gameplay there was. It's when you think about how that fight started, or well, I suppose 1.5 fights ago, with a 6-man shatter directed towards Atomic. To swing back from that, I think it all started with, and there was an early bomb from Beancan that could have just spelled disaster for Atomic, but Rafa with a clutch beat, heads up play to just invest that right then and there. Make sure that there are no casualties to the bomb, and then win out the longer fight. But yeah, you called it as well. The high noon getting a crucial pick on the Lucio of the other side of Freya, ensuring that that vital stalling hero is no longer in the picture. And then C-Dub builds up a shatter in the longer fight as well. And we've got quite the Rialto on our hands so far, Mara. Both teams completing, and now we're in extra rounds.
One thing I did notice there, at least at the end, was that Beancan's bomb was used very well as an initiator, but Sky was punished so hard by that May wall, just the entirety of Atomic collapsed onto him after that May wall went out, and then just fell, and then honestly everything else past that point went very poorly for 7 Piece in that fight after Sky perished.
Absolutely. Like losing your Rhine like that so early in a fight is just, especially in a situation like the one they were in there. And I think that's a big contributor to how Hammer Down was just able to, basically just waltz around the point for free and get a ton of value on that Cowboy. So now in extra rounds, Atomic will be going first, given their time bank. And now this time they're sticking to the rush, which I quite like. They look very comfortable on this. On the other side, the Cartoon Blaze on this Torb, perhaps anticipating the Tracer, but that Gambit might be for naught.
Yeah, it seems like they were definitely anticipating it, and then May is still providing so much value. Baits out the May wall, baits out the Immortality field early, and as such, Bordondo can't really get that saving grace of the Immortality field rather. And now the entirety of Atomic is just able to walk forward essentially for free because they have the lamp. They can just walk forwards at them. I mean, and not get punished, because that is kind of the funny no mistakes button.
Pretty much. Yeah, no, that's point A pretty much in the bag. I don't think 7 Piece are going to get another touch here. Sky might try for it, is thinking about it, but no, that's pretty much it. Point A is taken by Atomic. It's free real estate. And now, Kemi building up to this Blizzard here as well. Might actually get it by the time the next team fight in full breaks out. And on the other side, it's really just the window from Sly, and it's going to turn up huge as the defense is going to get a stop here.
Kemi is getting dangerously close to that Blizzard here. It's really all on Beancan to eat that up, but Beancan's taking so much early damage in this fight, gets demech, and Freya falls to the high noon of Hammer Down. And now this looks like at least to the second point, at least the second half of second here for the side of Atomic, with some, honestly, a lot of mistakes coming out from the side of 7-Piece there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think anyone who's played Overwatch for any significant amount of time knows the situation where you start to feel a little bit panicked, right? That this team is getting so much progress in overtime. So this is where 7-Piece, they've got the tools, they've got the Molten Core, which is huge for getting a team off in the situation, but they've got to use them wisely if they want to stop it.
Wait, no.
C-Dub, no.
Oh, the entire team gets Shatter. Shatter in return is just bigger because it gets the tanks. And now, even with the Coom of Cartoon Blaze, they will cap here, and yeah, that was a very that hiding Shatter from C-Dub was very entertaining, but that was so risky because honestly, Sky could have just walked into them, shattered them all, and then they all would have died there, unless the Siren didn't.
Yeah,
it just
absolutely.
That was a very, very ballsy play from the side of C-Dub, but I mean, that's what I know him for. And now Beancan coming into the bomb here should actually do it quite a bit. The Meg Wall from Kemi blocked almost all of that. Immortality Field saving them all, at least for the moment. The D.Va remech dealing a lot of damage to the side of 7-Piece. Redondo is actually getting quite a bit of value in this defense, getting the D-Mech and the kill on the Cowboy. Finally, it looks like 7-Piece has managed to win a fight here on third. It is not a spot you want to be in, but at least they did not full count.
Yeah, what a push from Atomic there. 7-Piece, I mean, their eggs were all in that Molten Core Shatter basket, and as far as the individual plays from Cartoon Blaze and Sky went, they both did them correctly. Sky hit the Shatter, Cartoon Blaze lands the Molten Core, clearly all over point, but like you said, that flank Shatter from C-Dub, very gutsy play, does the job. But right after that, it's in this sort of where we see the cart part here right now, the sort of narrow space where Bordando's Doomfist once again can come alive, get an opening pick. And so when Interflux was demexed, not able to get the remech there, was finish off after that. And then 7-Piece are just able to snowball. So 7-Piece now looking down the barrel of a pretty tall task, but they have completed, I was going to say Dorado, goodness. Rialto once, they still do look good on this look they've got going with the Rush Doomfist. But by this point, they have to anticipate that Atomic are going to mirror and they're going to run the Mei instead. How are they going to adapt to this? We have to remain to be seen.
The Doomfist provides a lot of value. It's just that you're going to get shut down really hard by the Mei, by the McCree, or rather the Cowboy rather. It's just so much CC in this composition, even just by the boops of Rafa, just to displace you, like with your punches, with your slams. It's really hard for you to get a lot of value here, but Bordando is seeming to get a decent out of it, but Atomic is going for a close hold here. We'll see how it pans out.
Oh yeah. And this is just them burning clock. This is the play. Bordando right now punches forward, is taken down. But watch the time bank dwindle here if Atomic do this correctly. 7-Piece popping that lamp already this early in the fight, but it's working out.
Wait, never mind. Interflux.
Or no.
Managing to kill two very crucial pieces in this fight. They may not win here, but getting even like 30, 45 seconds off the clock is what you want here. It's not a huge deal, especially since Atomic did get a decent amount of ult charge off of that, and the high noon for Hammer Down is definitely nothing to sneeze at here as well. Beancan crucially is still demaxed right now, farming up quite quickly though. But if Atomic engage fast enough, that may not matter, and they may just be able to take this fight when they don't have the D.Va mech. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
Now Beancan is just going to get it just in time. There's that high noon though from Hammer Down, but is canceled as soon as it seemed like it wasn't going to get much purchase. Falls out. C-Dub Shatter.
C-Dub Shatter doesn't seem to get a whole lot. Does get the
it's coming up to it. My mistake.
Oh, excuse me. Bordando, though, does fall crucially. Sky's Shatter is blocked to C-Dub, and C-Dub, with the counter Shatter, puts Sky on their back, and now this seems like a very, 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 very winnable spot for the side of Atomic here. It's just cleanup, and that is map 1-1 for the side of Atomic.
Yep, and they go up 1-0 in the series, and that is their first map win of BPL Season 3. up against 7-piece. A really strong showing here from Atomic, who it seemed like they were on the back foot when, for much of the first half of this map, once they found their footing, switched fully, and committed to that rush comp, they were able to turn it.
They really they really had me in the first half, but they definitely brought it back. And now going on to the map of Hanamura, I don't know really what to expect from either of these teams other than some rush. Maybe we could see some wacky Symmetra stuff. We could see maybe some Pharah. I've seen that previously played. A lot is possible in Hanamura. It's a very, very open map. Unlike some of the 2CP maps in the pool, I would definitely say Hanamura is probably one of the ones where you can play a lot of variety here. You know, you can play your dive, you can play your 6-man dive, you can play your rush. You know, you could pull out some Bastion if you want to. We've seen that before.
Right.
The world is really their oyster.
For sure. And I mean, some teams even prefer to pull out the double shield of all things. Sometimes on point A. But yeah, point B in particular is quite amenable to some sort of Winston setup as well. But yeah, like you said, world's your oyster. Remains to be seen. I wouldn't be surprised if Atomic stick to this Ryan rush, whereas 7-piece, I think ball's kind of now in their court to try to figure something out, try to counter comp them, or perhaps even mirror them with the May Cowboy sort of setup. But we'll have to see that when Map 2 kicks off.
Yeah, I believe there will be some substitutions here. I don't actually... So, I believe it is Chicken Nugget God coming in, and actually that might be it for the side of 7-piece at least. I don't know where G, Verity, and I believe... Oh, that's... Okay, excuse me. A player on the sheet had a different name they did in game. So I was a little confused. Khan is, I believe... Kemi, there. I was blanking really hard for a second there. But yeah. Do you have any predictions for the comps that they could run on Hanamura?
It does depend on who's attacking first, and I cannot remember right now if we know that at that moment.
I believe it's loser pick side is the format. I could be wrong, but honestly, it's probably just gonna be some good old classic rush, maybe some Symmetra. Really, anything could happen. Pulling out just the Cowboy. Cowboy is always just a very solid pick in these rush comps because it's a lot of medium close range burst damage. You know, you have the stun, you have the ability just to, you know, get some picks or even just a free reload with the side of with the High Noon. Anything's really possible.
Yeah, that stun is so crucial, right? Because it forces so many heroes on the other side to play differently. But come to think of it, I wouldn't actually be surprised if we saw Atomic kind of revert back to that dive. They seemed really fond of it on Rialto. And although it's a bit tricky to run on Hanamura A in particular, we might see it at some point in the map. I don't know. They just seemed very committed to it, even at times it wasn't particularly working. So perhaps they have something up their sleeve that we haven't really seen the full potential of yet. Perhaps on Hanamura B on the defense or something similar. But we will find out. We do have some subs, like you mentioned. Chicken Nugget God is in, Bordondo's out. And also Kemi is out with Verity coming in.
Yep. Oh, so Khan is just a completely different person. Okay.
Right. So Khan is a support player. Khan I'm actually familiar with because we've played in some tournaments together. So typically a Lucio Zen Mercy type player and definitely very talented in the support role. But we'll not be playing here on Hanamura. Instead, we'll be seeing mostly the same lineups, barring the subs I just mentioned. And it's going to be exciting. I mean, I kind of like that I can't really predict what these teams are going to pull out, right? So I'm excited to see. Exactly.
Yeah. So 7-piece on the attack here. My prediction, they're going to pull out a rush. Let's see. And yep, there they go. Oh, Frey is on DPS. Chick Nugget God is on the main support. So they're actually making some position swaps as well as role swaps, which is not something you see a whole lot in BPL, but it happens from time to time. My team last season did it a little bit in A-League. Yeah, Freya really is mostly a support player, so I'm definitely interested to see what they can do on the Symmetra. Symmetra, it isn't a traditional DPS hero, obviously, not really necessarily a mechanically oriented hero, but I mean, it's still, it requires some basic tracking and positioning and stuff like that. I'm definitely interested
Yeah.
to see how they do it. And from the side of Atomic, though, they are also pulling out the Symmetra, but instead of the Mei, they have the Hanzo instead.
Interesting, yeah. And yeah, I had more to say about the Sim thing, but we've got a match underway. The Rhine swinging away, so it looks like indeed we do have a Rhine mirror happening here. But this Hanzo is really a bit of a wild card, and we'll see what kind of value Hammerdown can get from it. As there's a teleport up to the top, and right, like clockwork, a teleport back from the defense here. So both Sims doing their job, but Sky also doing his, taking out Hammerdown to start off this fight.
But the boot from Rafa onto Beancan is actually very big. Having no D.Va is so bad, because your Rhine can't swing as much without risk. And now, yeah, Sly builds up that window so fast. That was maybe 30 seconds
40
of a window,
seconds,
like
I
that.
think.
And now they just have so much free real estate to take on point here with that window doing so much zoning. But the window coming up from a siren here momentarily. Sly, where is Rafa?
Rafa just came around the backside.
Freya with that wall, or actually, wait, sorry, Verity with that wall should just secure, at least for the moment, the hold from Atomic.
And not a single take taken as well from 7Ps. That was really impressive from Atomic. That early window from Sly, as they now actually stagger out the D.Va here of Beancan, that early window seemed to be generating a ton of value, putting a ton of pressure on C-Dub. But ultimately, it's Rafa playing a bit of Assassin's Creed in the back, just kind of gets the jump on Sly, takes out the Baptiste after taking out the D.Va earlier as well. And now Hammerdown's got that Hanzo Dragon blocked and loaded as we've got the similar teleport set up on the defense for Atomic here. Let's see where Freya opts to teleport the team this time. Will it be above the point again or to the top left high ground? It's straight to point this time.
I think that was a bit of bait there. And now Sky's Shatter is just completely blocked. QI wise though as well is just completely counteracted. But the Mei Blizzard from Cartoon Blaze freezes up the entirety of Atomic. This should be a first point take here, but maybe not with the bomb from Interflux picking up both of the supports of 7-piece. And now this is a D.Va Sim duel, it seems like. But it seems like, in the end, Atomic, by the skin of their teeth, wins that fight with a lot of ults invested from both sides.
Yeah, that wall, and there was a bit of a Hail Mary play from Freya,
Wait,
and
they're
it bought
still
some
going
time.
in.
But, yeah, this is still going on. The respawns are back.
This is a very long, drawn-out fight. It looks like, in the end, I think Atomic still takes it just because that dragon doing so much damage. Beancan so close to being demeched, barely on maybe like 50 HP. Atomic somehow hold that and don't drop a tick.
Yeah, and there's just a minute left on the clock here for 7Ps. It was looking so good so many times this map so far, but by the skin of their teeth over and over, Atomic are finding ways to win these fights. But this time, they look pretty depleted. They've got the window, which is a strong tool, and an Interflux has that bomb as well, but not much else. 7Ps still are looking even worse in the ult economy departments. This might have to be a dry push. They might want to take a fast fight here because they do not have a lot of options.
Freya needs to get this wall as fast as they humanly can. Cartoon Blaze as well. This Blizzard is going to be crucial if they're intending on getting this first point here. A lot of pressure being put onto the shield of Sky, being down so much. Sky's Shatter, I believe, just goes into the bell? I don't know.
May have. Well, either way, Sky has gone back to spawn, but Freya's turret's trying to equalize. And now it's just a battle of the Sims.
10 seconds on the clock, and so much of 7P is just dead so fast in that fight. Freya's wall is going to give them at least a little bit of space on this point here. Cartoon Blaze's Blizzard as well might actually do quite a bit here. Does catch Q White Boy, but the Immortality comes out, and the Shatter doesn't seem to pick up much, but somehow they are seeming to barely equalize this fight, and no, never mind. Q White Boy is just finishing them off. Unless the beat from Chicken Nugget God actually stabilizes this enough for them, I'm not really sure. But a Siren just seems like they are finally fed up with this fight. You know, it's going on for what, maybe a minute and a half now. It's been long enough. We're full holding you, and now you're playing for a draw.
Pretty much. Yeah, as a Hammerdown punctuates that with a headshot to Freya's Tracer coming in for the stall. And these teams are just playing tennis at the end there with the picks, but ultimately Atomic just barely managing to hold on in that last fight. a lot of the earlier defenses felt pretty decisive when all was said and done, but that last one felt like it could have been anyone's fight for a lot of it. Even with C-Dub down, though, Osiren on the side taking out Chicken Nugget God on the Lucio, and then I believe after that there were just no supports left for 7-piece, running back on the stall picks, the ball, the tracer, and at that point it's just you're just throwing the kitchen sink at the point and hoping something sticks. So now a draw is pretty much all they're playing for here on Hanamura.
And 7-piece, they're pulling out the Pharah. I like that pick quite a bit. You know, I like the funny Pharah here. I think she's pretty decent, especially into a team that seems to like playing a lot of rush. They can't do a whole lot when you're in the sky spamming them. They can eat your rockets, and the Diva or the Cowboy can shoot at you, or maybe in this case the Hanzo from hammer down. But that's really all they can do. It's can they engage fast enough to get onto the back line of Sly, of Cartoon Blaze, and just actually able, or excuse me, are they able to hold them off long enough to get the picks that they need to hold against this rush comp?
Right, and I think the answer to that question lies in Verity's sim, right? If you're able to circumvent the entire poke phase of the fight by getting straight to point, and doing so in one piece, this could be a very different first fight, because this comp from 7-piece is excuse me, just designed to burn the targets at range. There's that TP.
Not directly onto the point, which is definitely very wise, so you can't get spammed out from 2 different angles now. Freya kind of playing a ground Pharah right now, but a lot of damage is being done to Influx's Diva. Lamp used early by Osiren, but the sides, but 7-piece's tanks are so low, and now it's Q White Boy just swinging for the fences, and 3 members of 7-piece are dead in an instant, and this is looking like a clean Hanamura win and a series win for the side of Atomic.
Dominant win there from Atomic. That was a statement win. Rialto was a great back and forth, but here Atomic just clean house. Really well done from the team here. This Chicken Nugget God though does get the play of the game on the Lucio. I think this might have been during the very last fight. Maybe? No.
One boop? Must have been. Oh wait, no, actually. It's a little hard to see the times.
It all blurred together.
The last fight went on for entirely too long. I believe we should have an interview coming up here. Just give it a bit. What did you think about the difference from map 1 to map 2 with Atomic?
I think just a lot more confidence in their game plan, but also just not running the dive. Again, I mentioned this right before the match, but it felt, or before Hanamura, I should say, they seemed really committed to trying to run that on Rialto. And playing that into the Rhine comps, the 7-piece were running, just kind of felt like banging your head into a wall and hoping to break through a bit. But on these comps, they looked so much more comfortable, and like just they sort of had the whole rhythm of it down in terms of like how to cycle ults, how to work it with and enable C-dubs as Rhine. Just great stuff all around. They look really, really strong on this look.
Yeah, I mean. C-Dub is a very good player, and if you can enable him to do what he wants on that Reinhardt, I mean, there's not a lot you can do to stop a Reinhardt who's getting all the resources and more that he could ever want in that rush composition. But I believe we should have some interviews in a second.
Yeah, we're still waiting on some people to get in. I just want to say shout out to Atomic, I guess, for keeping the 2CP short. No, but I'm just kidding. But I want to say, like last week, especially on A-League, we saw a lot of 6-man being played, and it looks like our B-Leaguers, they like to play the more honest comms, you know, the more honest rush comms here. We saw a lot of Rhine being played today, so...
Rectangle man good.
Rectangle man good for sure. Do you think there's like any reason as to why maybe like in B-League we see a lot more rush being played as opposed to like the more dominant 6-man we see currently in like A-League? Is it just like a coordination difference?
I think it's partly coordination difference, but also just like not all of these teams really have DPS players. Some people, or at least some teams, have support players or tank players off-rolling into DPS, something like that. But I believe we should have some interviewees finally in here after like the 3rd time I've said that.
Yeah, it looks like we got C-Dub and Rafa coming in from the winning side here of Atomic. C-Dub, Rafa, how are you guys feeling after finally getting a win here in B-League?
Finally, it was the 2nd week.
Well, I was saying about Rafa. I believe Rafa, isn't that your first win here?
It's his
My
first win in BPL.
Really? Great. Well, congratulations. What a good win to start it off on. You guys definitely looked a lot better after last week. You know, you had a pretty rough loss against Redwood in your week 1 game.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask, like, how did you prepare? Like, how did you like get the mental reset going? Because I'm pretty sure you guys must have heard that a lot of people were rating you pretty high going into the season. So like, did the pressure of winning this game ever get to you, or like, how did you deal with this, or like, did you just manage to drown it out?
Let's see Dub, the captain, talk.
I feel like the big thing was, I'll say one of the biggest switches was Osiren. Osiren went for 3K, by the way. That man went crazy today. He went nuts. That hide shatter was 100% his call. I did not make that call. He said they have ult advantage, go for a flank shatter, and I went and hid because Osiren he was playing and he came from A League and he took some criticism from Toxic week 1 and the man took a complete 180, changed his mentality and just went crazy this week. The whole team went nuts. Everybody had like individual moments, but when we switched to Rush, Sky is his name, right? He was working me. I was getting worked, but our comp was better. We had the May. They run double hit scan. I guess I know both of them are probably natural hit scan players, but we had the May, so we forced out their lamp first every single fight. And although like I was just like not blocking shatters, and he was working me in that way, my team carry that first map. And then after that, I feel like, you know, it's hard to come back mentally after someone does that big of a OT push on you. But no, to go back to your question, I got a little distracted. But yeah, the first week, definitely like we have a huge SR advantage on the rest of the league. So there definitely is a little bit of a pressure of like, oh, we should definitely win because we are like 200 SR higher than everyone else. But we came into that first week not prepared well, and Redwood was really organized and they deserved to win. But I think people, as always in BPL, overreact. I'm not saying we're the best team in the world and we're going to win every game after this. I think we can. But just relax. It's one game, everyone. Like, Hayden's Overwatch team, everyone rated so good. They lose week 1. Oh, they're trash. Oh, they beat Goliath. Oh, now they're the best. Like, you know, just wait a couple weeks. And then
It's BPL.
We'll know.
Yeah.
We'll know.
BPL do be like that.
That's just how it be, you know. We're all a bunch of reactionaries here. We all froth at the mouth as soon as something that we don't think is gonna happen happens, and then we're all, you know, really, really insufferable bitches on Twitter until we're proven wrong the next week, and then the cycle continues basically.
See, that's why all my takes are just not about BPL, so that I can never be wrong, you know?
See, all your takes are about cartoon rabbits.
No,
And
that's
funny, rather.
No, I've changed.
All
I've
about
changed.
for seat up here, yeah.
See, dude, yeah. I haven't horny tweeted in a minute.
Let's move on from that.
Good idea.
I wanted to ask. So we were on Rialto, you guys started out trying to play like the dive comp with you and Winston, and after that didn't work, you quickly switched over to Rush and pretty much played that until the rest of the match. So I was gonna ask, like, was this something you planned in scrims, or was this just like an audible being called after you guys kind of hit a wall against 7Ps, or like was this just like in your game plan all along?
You go ahead, Rafa.
Yeah, we talked about that on scrims. We scrimmed against 7Ps earlier, and we saw that if dive didn't work, we should probably switch to Rush because we are a good Rush team, and we saw that we had the chance to win against them on Rush, so we kind of have that prepared before the match going.
Yeah, we had decent success with that comp against them in scrims, and then we scrimmed external, and we did really well with that comp on Rialto. So we wanted to come out with it, and I still think it's a comp that we could get good at looking forward. I think we just hard over-ulted. I don't know if you guys caught it on broadcast, but we did 4 ults on first point, and we won that fight and then lost the next fight. And then on second point, we won a fight, but we crazy over-ulted, and then they rolled in, won the next fight. So I don't think the comp is a complete wash. I think we were just a little unorganized about it. But yeah, like Rafa said, we knew that we wanted to swap Rush if that wasn't working, and we did. We realized that they weren't going to play the boring Mei character, so we just had the advantage. And we just pressed W at him.
Hate that character. Really do.
Yeah.
Despise that Mei
It
character.
sucks. It sucks. I wish we didn't have, I wish There was a different way to play Rush, but she's so good.
With that being said, I think that's really that should be enough for the interview here. Thank you guys so much. Good job today. Also, C-Dub, you know what? I'm gonna give MVP to Osiren.
Worth.
I agree.
Yeah.
Osiren was popping off for sure.
Sorry, that was a little rude.
Yeah, but that wall.
Everyone played well on your team, Rafa. Don't.
Wall from
Hey, Rafa, the boop on Diva on first point.
That was very good.
That literally
That was crazy, yeah.
kept us on the first point hold.
But
Huge.
Burns got 2 with his boop, so only half as good as Burns.
True, Burns better.
Nah, I'm just humble. I don't want him to crush Burns just yet. I need to give him like a little bit more happiness.
Well, maybe next week we'll see that matchup. But yeah, I think that's going to be enough for the interview. So I want to say thanks, C-Dub and Rafa. Good job on your win. And we'll see you again next week. So thank you very much for coming out here.
Thank you.
Okay. And with that, I think that's going to do it here for B-League for tonight. I just want to say thanks to Mara and Blank for casting this one. Also thanks to every other caster who's been here tonight. Every host. We had Ippy and Squall earlier. Also thanks everyone on the staff for helping make this a good stream tonight.
You want to see something before we end?
Sure, go ahead, Solomon.
You want to see this?
Was this instant
Ignore that
replay?
this is A-League because it's not as B-League. Look at the standings. We have a 6-way tie for second.
Oh my God!
Because
Wait a second.
every single game has been 2-0, and only Redwood Rockets are 2-0 and Gerald Fan Club are 0-2. Everyone else is 1-1.
Oh my.
Yeah.
What a close competition here for sure. Yeah.
A world without
we'll
two
see if
ones.
that continues tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. Lots of fun. Oh my God.
Okay.
Well, I think with that we're gonna put the bookmark here on B-League for tonight. That's the bad news, I guess. The good news is, however, though, that the weekend is just getting started for us here at BPL. We still got our A-League matches coming up tomorrow, 6 p.m. EST, same starting time. You don't want to miss that one. I'm gonna say thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. That's it from us for tonight. Peace out.
Bye.
Thanks. We'll catch you next time.
You guys can see me waving, but
Can't
I'm
see me,
on
but
my
I'm
hand.
waving. I'll have my webcam for next time. I'm
It's getting
waving.
awkward.
You want me to take you back?